Hi. How's everyone doing? To say
First to say first. Oh my god. Yeah, well, this is my answer to that.
that's gorgeous too. Trying to make sure your attempt at trolling me backfires.
Yes, Izzy is now wearing tentacles.
How's everyone doing tonight?
Oh, I'm hanging in there as usual.
There we go.
Sorry, a little disoriented. Give me 3 seconds. Did anybody jump on the thingamabob or
Gonna have to be a little bit more specific, love.
sorry, like literally woke up 10 minutes ago.
Gotcha. Okay, so you took a nap.
Yes, head forced nap. And then somebody was supposed to nope, they didn't. Okay. So I'm gonna mute and do the clickety clicks in the background to get all this the information's not in. I meant the grid. Did anybody do the grid yet? Nobody did the grid.
Apologies.
So yeah. No problems at all. It'll take me half a damn second. I'm so used to it. But no, the sinuses got worse. I tried to do the heat on my face so I wouldn't lay down. And I left somebody in charge of the alarm.
That was your first
So
mistake.
or their idea of, okay, well I woke you up because I put the phone next to your head.
We're not touching that with a 10-foot pole and somebody else pushing.
Right. So
All right, folks, don't forget to share it out.
to all the pro places, and if you haven't found a place to freaking put it yet, please do. Just please. We're bagging, plating.
Go. Don't forget, we're also on YouTube. So if you've got friends that do
Don't
not
like
have
her.
Twitch, feel free to give them the YouTube link.
Right. And it looks like everybody came through with flying colors tonight, but I am not sure if this is going to be a two-parter or not. I know we have 8 submissions.
I want to put my arm there, and there's nothing to safely put my arm there.
I can't put my arms down. Sorry.
Hello.
Izzy, do we know whether we're going to do a
No, I haven't
two-parter
seen the
or
numbers.
okay?
It's you!
Bless you.
Oh, but wait. There's more. Merry Christmas.
I don't know.
I'm scared.
Did you just give her a Christmas present on stream?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
No, the hilarious part was Kesha's shriek.
Oh my god.
What'd you do?
It's a wax seal with tentacles though.
I love it.
Oh my
Hang on. There it is. That's actually really cool.
Yeah, that looks really nice. So, over the course of all of this tentacle talk, whatever, I went and purchased a hairbrush with an octopus on the back of it. I purchased a beautiful painting, which I have to return or do something because it broke in transit. I also got this to troll her and that. She's getting me back from March. Yes. Oh, well, hello there, Star. Hey, it's a brand new sweater. Kitty, 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 kitty. Hey, Queenager, how you doing? How you doing? Yes, get your claws out of my neck. That's because this house is very, very old, and every time you move, everything moves. Okay. All right. You should see when I'm bouncing around like Bitzer's one child. The whole thing shakes. Half the time when she does that, it makes me tired. The other half, it's like, bounce around too.
What, do you think you're Tigger?
No, that's that one.
None of us are Tigger. We're all Rabbit. Let's be honest.
First,
Tired.
when
I don't know.
met her,
Some days I feel like I'm Eeyore.
yeah,
Tired and fed up with everyone's bullshit.
literally, this one's Tigger tattoo. The first day I met her, first year of senior year, I was like, that's somebody that I need in my life.
I have Tigger tattooed on my leg, yes.
Down.
Well, I thought it was cool. 17-year-old with a tattoo at a Christian school. I was like, that, yep, that's somebody I need in my life. And now, nearly 30 years later, you can't get rid of me.
I thought I was the bad penny.
Nah, that's me.
Okay. At least we're straight on that.
That's the only thing straight about us.
She said.
Y'all had a hairy Christmas? What? Leon? English, please. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to click there. Oh, we lost Eeyore.
He did say that they're gonna be going out and getting dinner, and he's gonna be like in the background for a while, so he may drop in or out.
Oh, that's true. Okay, so
Okay, numbers are in.
all right, 10,000. We got some short ones.
Wow.
We got a lot of
not
short
the
ones
longest.
tonight.
What, Julie?
I said we got a lot of short ones tonight. The longest is actually Nathan's.
There we go. Harry Christmas and things. Look.
Uh,
You want a Harry Christmas? There's a Harry Christmas.
okay, cousin it.
So, of course, welcome to the Hold My Pen Promptcast. We've been shooting the shit here now for about 13 minutes, and that's just what we do. For those of you who are watching this on the replay, finding it later on YouTube or in the next 2 weeks on Twitch, we're a writing group, writing show. Every Saturday night we get together and we read out the submissions. Thank you, Leon. Yes, it's I feel younger. Now, of course, to be fair, this is not as orange as it looks on the computer screen. It's got a pinkish hue to it.
Actually, on my screen, she's red. So on my
No,
screen, she's coming red.
it's a rose gold.
Yeah.
Of course, you like Hesh's more. I'd be a little concerned. Any hoozle. And anyway, we end up rolling a couple of prompts up, and then our audience who attends the live shows gets to vote on that prompt, which one is the official prompt. You can use up to all three if you want. And you can send it to holdmypenpromptcast@gmail.com. You can also sign up for our newsletter. Go to beacons.ai/holdmypenpromptcast, all one word, and or go to our bio and find the link there and join the mailing list. We do not spam you. You get one email every weekend, either Sunday or Monday, whichever the case may be, because, life. And we have a good time. We read out your submissions, helping you get closer and closer to a finished product, one scene prompt at a time.
Right.
Don't forget that our voices are not to be used to train AI. They belong to us and us alone. We have permission from the authors by their sheer presence in our inbox, the ability to share their works on the live. Also, do not use these works to train AI for story generation. Please and thank you. So last week,
Also, just one quick thing before we get started. Everybody, I hope everybody had a Merry Christmas, a Happy Yule, whatever you happen to celebrate, because I do know we came into Kwanzaa and the end of Hanukkah while we were off stream. So I hope everybody had a happy holiday. Also, this is the last show of the year. When we start next week, which you need to wait to the end of the show because we have interesting things to tell you at the end of the show about how we are going to handle next year and how the prompts are going to be handled for the month of January during our Fresh Ink presentation. Also, down here below me, I had to look at the freaking camera to figure out where the hell everybody was at. We have CR McCormick, and it's her birthday month. So again, you're going to want to wait to the end of the show because she's going to release what the special monthly challenge is going to be for January.
I'm excited.
uh-oh.
I'm scared.
You're scared. It can't be any. Honestly, it can't be any worse than Cash. Cash gave us the most challenges in a month that were individual and unique, and it kept fucking shit going. And if anything, it made our writing a whole lot more interesting of trying to get it in.
That was the mermaid one, right?
No, she had centaurs.
Mermaid.
She had living dead. She had mermaids. She had
yeah, and
Dragons and Sasquatch were the same week because that was the one right after my
Uh-huh.
birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, leave it to a guy to make the hung like a centaur joke in their prompt.
Yes. Yes. Very much so.
It's good. It's fine.
And leave it to a gay guy to get you turned on.
I know.
It was clever.
It was very clever. And I liked how
But
the
also,
male in the story actually handled it too. It wasn't, he was like, at least I didn't say I was bigger. I mean, there was some humility there.
there was some humility and there was a lot of fun in those
It
prompts.
really was.
Uh,
So looking forward to what Shar has for us this next month, along with our
I
Fresh
think
Ink challenge.
I think it might be an interesting challenge for you guys.
No.
I'm excited.
So, like I said, hang on to the end of the show, share it out. Remember to also welcome all, if you're in the comments and you catch the Raiders before we do, welcome the Raiders. We're trying to build over here, and while we've built a lot, we built a lot. We're still building on 2 platforms, and while we currently have more people on one platform than we do the other, it's slowly rising, and a
Yeah.
rising tide lifts all ships. So,
Unicorn.
without further ado, okay, Izzy, take it away.
All right. So I go back over here. And we come here. Also, thanks to Christmas Day and one of our newest members, Sticks, giving a 24-hour Twitch stream for those that maybe don't have family or need to get away from family for a little bit. We were talking about a bunch of different things for the stream and whatnot, and we have a stream deck ordered. Should arrive early next week. And so I'm going to probably hook up with Sticks at some point and ask for some assistance with setting it up.
That's
So
so
that,
cool.
yeah, it wasn't that expensive. And so it'll be set up here and it'll be much easier for both of us, either one of us, to be able to run the back end of the stream, hit a button, and it does what it needs to do.
Yeah, that's
So,
gonna be. Do you know what model it is, or just
yeah, but I'd have to look it up.
there? No, that's gonna make your job so much easier.
Absolutely. And so, especially with the stuff like flipping up new
Yep.
overlays and whatnot, and switching between the stuff, going to be very, very helpful, especially hopefully for things like that, where we have the name of the current story's author right underneath the bottom. So, worst case scenario, I set them up ahead of time who all submitted and attach them to buttons. And then it's just a click, 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 and be good to go. And of course, up first, provided they are not icing their ankle, is CM Weller, and we do have a bit of a trigger warning, apparently, content warning, for the F bomb, which I fucking say every single fucking day with it, just a fuck, and you fuck you fucking fuck.
Fuck is punctuation.
Yes, fuck is a punctuation point and question mark and all those things. But also there's some abuser bad behavior. So be prepared to be pissed off and yell at internutter later. Okay, awesome. They is here. All right. The wind carried the smell of rain long before the first drop touched the ground. Of course, Zen went clucking out to the dust wallows fields with Void to help make sure that the fire was burning before the rain set in and ruined everyone's alleged luck. She'd left the place in a mess. Nothing cleaned up after she'd made a hurried soup to keep his belly full. Nothing left orderly after she'd rushed to dress and leave. Well, nothing but that devil tea she'd put by his bedside with a little acorn-sized cup and instructions repeated so many times that Aaron could still hear them. Stupid bonfire night. Stupid tradition. Stupid woman believing her own stories. Stupid superstition. He'd teach her. He'd teach them. He'd teach all of them. He staggered from his bed to shut the damn door. Stupid bitch wanting it to stay open, nagging him about fixing the hinges. He'd catch his death if she had her way. Aaron could have a bonfire of his own, burn all the things he never wanted, starting with all the crap crowding his house that was meant for a baby he also never wanted. His busted arm hurt, and dragging it all near the hearth took forever. He had to throw things in the direction when he didn't have to drag them. Fucking cradle. It weighed a ton. He didn't notice his bonfire had started until he'd thrown her knitting after the third dress the town had given that bitch. Let it burn. Let it all burn. He threw on her herbs, her rush slippers, her sewing basket, and all that was in there, cursing because one of her needles stuck him, laughed as the flames licked higher and higher, coughed at the smoke. Aaron backed away from it all as the flames started to reach the thatch. He threw the devil tea at it, but all it did was make the smoke worse. He ran for the door, trying to pull it open with his weaker hand. The damn hinges, they wouldn't budge. The whole door was stuck. He was trapped in an inferno with that little bitch's words echoing in his head. We really need it done, Aaron. What if there was a fire? The smoke made it hard to breathe, hard to think, and it was getting hotter in here. Everyone was at the bonfire. Dun, dun, dun. Aaron's gonna get what's coming to him. Aaron's gonna get what's coming to him. Aaron's gonna get what's coming
I
to
was
him.
about to say that makes Aaron even more unlikable. And I love it.
I love the fact that his own refusal to take care of shit is what's gonna kill him.
I was gonna mention I love the little nods to him initially bitching about her nagging him, and then the fact that he wasn't listening to her nagging was what scripted me out. Love it.
I hate this dickhead. Ugh! I love it when my karma runs over their dogma. Very well done.
I mean, there is something to be said about the shorter posts. There really are. There's something to be said about them. But at this particular point, I cannot just hop on a plane, fly my happy ass halfway across the damn world to duct tape to find out what happened or what's going to happen.
Well, I
This
mean,
year is so lucky they are the only ones that can't be driven to.
oh,
There's two
there's two.
that we know of.
Well, no, we technically got three because we've got one in England. That's dark.
Oh, yeah.
We've got Leon the
Yeah, but
Frenchie.
Dark doesn't make us mad.
No, they make us mad in other ways, like dropping the scene and then disappearing off the planet for a little while. That's what makes us mad about Dark.
Well, taking care of babies.
Yeah, and her herself as well, because she's been in and out of the hospital as of late. So everybody light a candle, say a prayer for her. hopefully they will figure out what the hell's wrong. But yeah, it's like we've got Dark, we've got Leon the Frenchie, and then we've got Bitzer the Australian. And 9 times out of 10, I would still go to Australia to pop them and be like, no, I need to know what happened next. Yes, I just
Here's
flew 5 fucking days just to get here, but yes.
Here's the good news about our lovely Bitzer K internetter. Has single-handedly, managed to exponentially grow our Discord server and get other people to join outside of and market us. And if you're not checking out the promos and looking at their flash fiction, they post every single day. So, and although I may have a
Sometimes,
very difficult, huh?
sometimes multiple times a day.
Sometimes multiple times a day. And yes, we are now on a Zinnia and Aaron hiatus because of January's anonymity. But don't give us that look, Julie. You agreed to the anonymity thing. But
If I'm not
anywho, the
mistaken, that was
point
my idea
is,
too. So I mean, I can't even get mad about it because I think it was my idea.
no, it was my idea, and I said we're making an executive decision so you can all blame me for this one. It was because I did the Jasmine and Sabine anonymously in order to get honest feedback. And then I was like, you know what? Fresh ink. We wanted a plan for fresh ink. Now we got one. That's
Lord
true.
help
True.
us.
But Bitzer K, internetter, aka CM Weller, I may have a very difficult time with the neo pronouns that are sometimes in their writing. However, it's good. Okay, I know it's micro flash fiction, and some of us are voracious book moths who have to consume everything. But really, it's thought provoking and makes you really think about things. So check out the promo channel for that. Um, I know a couple of other people. Death's Head also will sometimes post when he's going live on Twitch to write. And just interact. You don't just have to interact with us here on Saturday nights. We love that you do, but interact with each other, support each other in other ways. Um, because we all love you, and this whole community is one that you scratch my back, I scratch yours. All right. Next up, our illustrious first prompter, Trisha Jones, if I can find her name in the list. Come on now. Like, good golly, like, I put her right there after most of us as first prompter. There we go. Ooh. Oh. Oh. This one's excited. This is part of Trisha's story if Sarah went back to the labyrinth. Julie sat up.
Yes.
So you mean the logical ending?
I don't know. I've only seen the labyrinth once or twice. This one would know better. Y'all would know better than me. I'm just fucking jealous that he looks that good in those damn pants.
I'm not jealous, just appreciative.
Long live the Goblin King, and may he
Nice.
be resting in peace with all of his goblins.
David Bowie didn't die, he just went back to the labyrinth.
Don't thank me. This is
He's
the
made more.
Goblin King's doing. What? What?
What?
I said, let's face it, the 80s made more sense.
Look at Stranger Things. There's a reason it's popular.
Still haven't watched that either. Don't thank me. This is the Goblin King's doing, he said. It's in a little blue box only you can see in the far corner near some shelves. Why is it in the garage? I asked. It's where Jareth told me to put it, he answered. I nodded. With that, he opened a door that normally isn't there and he left. I sat thinking about what Hoggle said. I knew he was worried about me, and he had every right to be after everything that happened when I was in the labyrinth. Once everyone was asleep, I decided to go down to the garage to get the little blue box. I snuck down to the garage as quietly as I could. I found it right where Hoggle said it would be. I took it up to my room. Once back in my room, I sat at my vanity just looking at the box. It wasn't very big. It was a little bigger than a ring box. It was wrapped in a metallic blue paper that crinkled. There was a tag on it that said, "Open when you are ready to return to me." I turned the gift over in my hands a few times before I decided I wasn't ready and tucked it away in my vanity drawer. I went and laid on my bed, but I had a hard time falling asleep. I just kept thinking about the little blue box and what Hoggle had said. After a while, I sighed and sat on my window seat looking out at the world. I opened the window and climbed out and sat on the roof. The wind carried the smell of rain, but it hadn't started raining yet. The smell reminded me of the night Jareth took Toby and how scared I was. I thought about Ludo, Sir Didymus, and his faithful steed, how magical that place was. I wish I could have explored more, but I had to get Toby home, I thought. With a sigh, I went back inside just as the rain started to fall. I turned to close the window and saw a barn owl sitting in the tree. Is that Jareth? I stood just for a moment before closing the window, then went back to bed. I finally was able to fall asleep. It seemed like I was asleep only for a few minutes when Toby snuck into my room and jumped on my bed. Sarah, wake up! He yelled. Toby, I haven't been asleep very long, I groaned, covering my head. But we are going to the zoo, he whined. I can't. I am too tired, I said. You have to come, he whined. I'm sorry. I will go next time, I said, rolling over to go back to sleep. Fine, he said, stomping out of my room. Dun, dun, dun.
It's such a small amount of words. Trisha always.
Should have known
Miss
better.
Trisha, just remember, I see you in February.
Mm. I am curious about the little blue box, though. I need to know about the little blue box.
And you
I
won't get to
remember.
know.
I know.
Somebody asked if it was bigger on the inside.
Yeah, that was Bitzer.
Messing up.
Sorry, catching up on comments.
Patrick, when you say ICU in February, are you saying you're going to see her, or are you going to put her in the ICU?
I will be seeing her in February. Both of us are going to Flirty and KC.
Trisha's like, no.
So I will be able to easily get my hands on her and
And
drag
put
her
her in the
to Julie's
ICU.
house. And drag her to Julie's house.
Yeah.
Now. Trisha has a loving husband at home who loves her and cares for her and takes care of her. And I don't know. Perimenopausal shedding. I hate it.
Wait, is that a
The
thing? Is
fact
that why
that
I'm losing my hair? Is that why I'm
Yeah.
losing my hair?
That's a thing.
It was
Damn cold.
My mom went into menopause.
I've kind of
She was
stopped with
born
the
in-
cougar puberty, considering the guy that I'm trying to go and hang out with is 15 years younger than me.
My mom warned me that all the women in my family hit menopause in their 50s. And I'm about to hit 40, so she said, "Look out." And it looks like she was right.
all of mine hit theirs in their late or their early to mid. So yeah,
I'll be
There we
40
go.
in 13 days. Or no, 30, 38, 30. Wait, how old am I going to be?
I had that moment
I'm
the
an
other day
'86
for my
model.
birthday.
Shit, I need my calculator. Hang on.
Oh, hold on. What year were you born?
I can do it. It's either 38 or 39.
The fact that you have to do math to figure that out is
39.
the concerning part.
I'll be 39? Really? I was born in 87.
You're a year after me. I'm an '86 model. You and Glee are the same age.
I'm 38? I thought it was 37.
I wish I was in my 30s still.
Okay,
Let's
on with the
just.
show.
This is a great way to show you how I
So,
lose track of time out
Patrick.
here. I've been out here for 7 years. I was 32 when I moved out here.
And Victor, you don't look a day over 40, so shush.
Yeah.
I know.
So, Patrick,
Apparently, the Outback's got some special shit in their damn.
you're 42. Are you living your best life for life, the universe, and everything? No?
This is actually true. Okay, I have to agree with the Frenchie. Okay, because I literally keep getting told that you're only in your 40s. Like that's the new 20s anyway. So
Yes, but in my 20s, I had freaking energy.
have we not seen me bouncing around listening to music in Discord?
No, I have. We've seen you do it here
Okay.
too, but that's
Okay.
the point.
I
Is
was
like,
I was just thinking you were maybe having a seizure or something.
Patrick.
Here's the thing, you all have to remember
Love
that
you, Sid.
I have adult children. I don't have littles running around and running me ragged. So my energy has returned. Because trust me, when I had the littles and they were running around running me ragged, I was dead to the world. Now I just have a 30-year-old keeping me up all night.
And that's a problem why?
It's not, except for, arriving late to work. Oh God, I'm never gonna live that down. I agreed with him, and now he's gonna be just like. But remember that one time you agreed with me, Lizzie? Luna Bear.
Hey, Luna.
Hi, Luna.
Okay. No, it's not that one.
So,
She forwards from Nathan,
that's right.
so you have to go back to her and hide her again.
Yeah, he was having issues with his email. It wouldn't let him send it, so he had to send it to me so I could forward it.
There we go. There we go. Next up, Nathan Stark, who is sadly not on my fucking bookshelves yet. Yeah, it's there.
Oh, it just took a minute.
That's
Okay.
delayed. Yeah. This is what we're setting up, and this is what's actually streaming, but those two are on a bit of a delay. Ooh. Claim my bonus. Don't forget to claim your prompt bonuses. Shar was also helpful within the last couple of weeks and added some additional redeem options for us. So enjoy those. Now, of course, those new ones, by the way, we had name a future character set at 5,000 prompt points. We also have 100,000 prompt points, aka channel points for you Twitch aficionados. You get to choose the prompt. It doesn't matter what everybody freaking votes on. If you have that big D energy and can save up your points and choose what it's going to be, feel free to do that. And then also added another one for a weird ass fucking flex. Go ahead, 200,000 channel points redeems absolutely nothing.
Just showing off the fact that you've been here for a long time and you've accrued all these points and you're so flush you have nothing else you can burn them on. Weird flex.
Yep. All right. Nathan. I don't know, Leon. I've already got 37K and I've used a bunch. So, and we've only been on Twitch since April.
I'm sitting at 60K right now. Like, I'm more than halfway there.
All right. The letter she writes but never sends. The wind carried the smell of rain long before the first drop touched the ground. It drifted through the open window of the small house at the edge of town, lifting the thin curtains as if the air itself were breathing. The sky had gone the soft, bruised gray that always came before a storm, the kind that pressed down on the chest and made memories feel heavier than usual. Eleanor sat on the edge of her bed, hands folded loosely in her lap, listening. She always noticed the wind first. Her mother had taught her that. How rain announced itself long before it arrived. Pay attention, her mother used to say, tapping Eleanor gently on the temple. The world tells you what it's about to do if you're quiet enough. Eleanor had tried to be quiet ever since. The house was too still, not silent, never silent, but empty in a way that hummed. Floorboards creaked as they cooled. Pipes ticked inside the walls. Somewhere down the road, a dog barked and then stopped. Life moved on just outside the reach of the windows. Her mother's face was everywhere in the house, and nowhere at all. The photographs still lined the hallway. Holidays, birthdays, blurry, candid posing. Her mother always looked mid-laugh in those pictures, like the photographer had interrupted something joyful. But Eleanor had learned that photographs were liars. They froze people at their best and pretended that was all they had ever been. Her mother had been more than laughter. She had been warmth and frustration and stubborn pride. She had been the kind of woman who showed up early and stayed late, who remembered everyone's coffee order and forgot to take care of herself. And then, one winter morning, she had stopped showing up. No one ever said it out loud. At the grocery store, the cashier still asked, "How's your mom doing?" And then flinched, eyes darting, as if she'd stepped too close to a wound. At church, her mother's pew remained empty, but no one moved to fill it. At family gatherings, her name hovered just behind conversations, an unspoken thing everyone felt pressing in. A familiar face stops showing up, and no one mentions it, but everyone notices. Eleanor noticed every day. She stood and crossed the room, kneeling beside her bed. The wooden drawer slid open with a soft complaint. Inside lay a stack of stationery, cream colored paper with faint blue lines, a gift her mother had given her years ago. Eleanor smiled faintly at the memory and pulled a sheet free. She sat at the desk by the window, pen poised, watching the sky darken. For a long moment, she didn't write. Then the pen touched paper. Dear Mom. Her hand trembled just a little. I don't know where to start because I don't know who I am without you anymore. She paused, inhaled, and kept going. I used to think I knew what being strong meant. I thought it was never crying in front of people, never asking for help, always having an answer. But I've learned that strength can also be sitting alone in a quiet house and still getting up next morning. The words came slowly at first, each one careful, deliberate, like stepping stones across a river. She wrote about the loneliness, the kind that didn't announce itself with tears but crept in during small moments. Standing in line at the post office, cooking dinner for one, hearing a joke and turning instinctively to share it, only to remember there was no one there. Some days, she wrote, it feels like the world kept spinning and I fell off. Everyone else learned how to keep moving, and I'm still standing in the same place, trying to figure out how to exist in a life that doesn't have your voice in it. Outside, rain began to fall. Not hard yet, just a gentle tapping against the window pane. Eleanor wrote about the job she'd taken after her mother's death, the one she hadn't been sure she was brave enough for, about how she showed up every day even when she felt hollow, about the promotion she almost turned down because she was afraid of waiting too much. You always told me to take up space, she wrote. I'm trying. I'm really trying. The pen slowed. I wish you could see me now, she continued. I don't know if you'd recognize me at first. I'm quieter, more careful, but I hope, you'd still be proud. Her throat tightened. She stopped writing and pressed her fingers against her lips, steadying herself. The rain grew heavier, streaking down the glass like tears that refused to be wiped away. There was a knock at the door. Eleanor startled, the sound sharp in the quiet house. She hadn't been expecting anyone. She folded the letter quickly and slid it beneath the notebook on her desk before standing. Her footsteps echoed as she crossed the living room. The second knock came, firmer this time. She opened the door to find Daniel standing on the porch, rain dotting his jacket, hair darkened by moisture. He smiled when he saw her, relief softening his features. Hey. Hey, she replied, surprised. What are you doing here? Daniel hesitated, glancing back at his car as if weighing something. I didn't want to involve you, he said, rubbing the back of his neck. But it's too late. You're already here, and now there's no going back. She frowned. That's ominous. He laughed quietly, then sobered. Can I come in? She stepped aside, letting him enter. The house seemed to shift with another presence, like it had been holding its breath. Daniel had been her mother's friend before he'd been hers. They'd worked together for years, bonded by shared lunches and late nights. After her mother's death, he'd checked in on Eleanor more than anyone else, bringing food, fixing things around the house, sitting with her in silence when words felt wrong. They stood awkwardly in the living room for a moment before Eleanor gestured toward the couch. Do you want some tea? Sure, he said, if that's okay. She kept herself busy in the kitchen, grateful for something to do with her hands. The kettle whistled as she poured water over the tea bags, the sound grounding her. When she returned, Daniel was standing in front of the bookshelf, running a finger along the spines. He paused at a worn paperback. She loved this one, he said softly. I know, Eleanor replied. She reread it every year. Daniel turned to face her. There was something in his expression, hesitation mixed with resolve, that made her chest tighten. What's going on? She asked. He took a breath. I found something at the office, in your mom's old filing cabinet. Eleanor's stomach dropped. Found what? A letter, he said. Actually, a few. The room seemed to tilt. Letters? They were addressed to you, he continued, but they were never sent. Eleanor sank onto the couch, tea forgotten on the table. Her pulse thudded in her ears. Why didn't you tell me sooner? Daniel looked apologetic. I wasn't sure it was my place, but I read one, just enough to know they mattered. He reached into his bag and pulled out a thick envelope, worn at the edges. Eleanor stared at it, heart pounding. Daniel set it gently on the table between them. She wrote them over the years, whenever something big happened. She must have planned to give them to you one day. To you someday. Eleanor's hand shook as she picked up the envelope. It felt heavier than paper should. She was always writing, Eleanor whispered. I never knew why. Daniel smiled sadly. She said some things were too important to rush. Eleanor swallowed hard. Can you stay? She asked. While I read them? Of course. She opened the envelope carefully, as if it might tear if she wasn't gentle. Inside were several folded letters, each dated in her mother's familiar handwriting. She opened the first one. My sweet girl, it began. If you're reading this, then time has done what it always does, moved forward whether we were ready or not. Tears blurred the words. Her mother wrote about Eleanor as a child, about watching her learn the world, about worrying she hadn't said I love you enough, about hoping Eleanor would forgive her for the times she'd been too tired, too busy, too human. Another letter spoke of fear, of illness, of leaving things unfinished, of wanting Eleanor to know that life would hurt, but also surprise her. There will be days when you feel like you're disappearing, her mother wrote. Please remember, you are seen, even when I'm not there to say it. Eleanor pressed the letter to her chest, sobbing now, openly, the sound breaking through the house like thunder. Daniel sat beside her, close enough to be steady, but not intrusive. After a while, the tears slowed. The rain outside softened, retreating into a quiet drizzle. Eleanor wiped her face and looked at Daniel. Thank you, she said hoarsely, for bringing these. He nodded. She loved you, he said simply. I know, Eleanor replied. I just forgot what it felt like to hear it. That night, after Daniel left, Eleanor returned to her bedroom. The storm had passed, leaving the air cool and clean. She retrieved her own letter from the desk, unfolding it carefully. She reread what she'd written about loneliness, about pride, about trying. Then she added one more line. I think I'm starting to understand what you meant about strength. She folded the letter neatly and slid it beneath her pillow, where she always placed it. It would stay there, unsent, like a quiet conversation between past and present, a reminder that grief and love could coexist, that absence didn't erase connection. As Eleanor laid down, the house felt less empty. The familiar face was still gone, but for the first time in a long while, she didn't feel alone. The letter stayed beneath her pillow that night, pressed flat by the weight of her head and the slow rise and fall of her breathing. Sleep came unevenly. Eleanor dreamed of her mother standing at the end of a long hallway, not speaking, only watching, her expression gentle and unbearingly sad. Each time Eleanor tried to reach her, the floor stretched farther, the distance widening like a held breath that refused release. When she woke, morning light cut across the room in pale gold stripes. The storm had washed the world clean, leaving everything sharper, quieter. For a moment, Eleanor forgot. Then memory settled back into place. She reached under her pillow and felt the folded paper, warm from her skin. The knowledge of the words she had written, of the words her mother had left behind, pressed against her chest like something alive. She stayed in bed longer than usual, listening to the house wake up. Somewhere outside, a car passed. A bird landed on the gutter and then lifted away again. Life, relentless and ordinary, moved forward. Eleanor eventually stood and made her bed carefully, smoothing the blanket as if the act itself mattered. In the bathroom mirror, she studied her reflection. The woman staring back looked older than she remembered, not just in years, but in awareness. There was grief there, etched softly around her eyes, but there was something else too, a steadiness, a quiet endurance. Downstairs, she brewed coffee and carried her mug to the porch. The air smelled clean, rain soaked earth and wet leaves. The street looked the same as it always had, but something in her perception had shifted, like the camera pulling back to reveal more of the frame. Across the road, Mrs. Calder was watering her plants, her movements slow and deliberate. She looked up, noticed Eleanor, and lifted a hand in greeting. "Morning, dear." "Morning," Eleanor replied. There was a pause. Mrs. Calder hesitated, her smile faltering just slightly. How are you doing?" she asked. It wasn't the usual question. It wasn't casual. It was careful. Eleanor felt it then, the weight of all the unsaid things in this town, the collective agreement to move around grief rather than through it. "I'm okay," Eleanor said after a moment. "Some days are better than others." Mrs. Caldwell nodded, relief and sadness mingling in her eyes. "Your mother would be proud of you." The words landed softly, but they landed. Eleanor swallowed. "Thank you." Mrs. Calder returned to her plants, but Eleanor stood there for a long moment after, coffee cooling in her hands. Inside the house, her mother's presence lingered in subtle ways. The dent in the couch cushion where she always sat, the chipped mug she refused to throw away, the calendar on the wall still turned to the month she'd never lived to see. Later that afternoon, Eleanor went into her mother's old bedroom. She hadn't done that often. The room felt preserved, like a held breath. Dust floated in the light. The bedspread was neatly tucked, the closet still full of clothes that smelled faintly of lavender and something uniquely hers. Eleanor opened the nightstand drawer. Inside was another envelope. Her name was written again in that familiar handwriting. She sat on the bed and opened it. "If you've found this," the letter began, "then you're braver than I was at your age." Eleanor smiled through tears. Her mother wrote about fear, not just of dying, but of leaving Eleanor alone in the world. She wrote about trusting her daughter to find her way, even when the path disappeared beneath her feet.
Can't have my phone carrying or my iPad. Oh, sorry, Nathan. I didn't mean to interrupt your story.
"I hope you don't rush through your grief," the letter said. "I hope you let it teach you. And I hope one day you wake up and realize you are still capable of joy and that it doesn't mean you've forgotten me. Eleanor folded the letter slowly. That evening, Daniel came by again, this time without urgency. He brought dinner and stories, small ones, unremarkable moments her mother had shared with him at work. The way she sang along to the radio when she thought no one was listening, the notes she left for coworkers on difficult days. She talked about you all the time, he said, even when she was worried. About what? Eleanor asked. About whether you knew how much she believed in you. Eleanor laughed softly, the sound surprising her. She never said it outright. She didn't have to, Daniel replied. You became it. After he left, Eleanor took out her own letter again. She reread it slowly, then added another page. She wrote about finding her mother's letters, about the strange comfort of knowing love could exist across time like that, about how grief wasn't something to be cured, but carried, sometimes heavy, sometimes light, always present. She folded the new pages carefully and placed them beneath her pillow alongside the others. Days passed, weeks. Eleanor returned to work, to routines, to conversations that no longer felt quite so hollow. She still noticed the absence at the grocery store, at church, in the quiet moments when she reached for her phone and remembered there was no one left to call in the way she once had. But she also noticed something else. Moments of light, a stranger holding the door, a song on the radio that made her smile instead of ache, laughter that came without warning and stayed longer than guilt allowed. One afternoon, she stood in the kitchen, sunlight spilling across the counter, and realized she was humming. She stopped, startled. Then she laughed, soft and real, and kept humming anyway. That night, she wrote again. I think I'm learning how to live with the empty spaces, she wrote. They're still there, but they don't scare me as much. She slid the letter beneath her pillow and lay back, staring at the ceiling. Outside, the wind shifted, carrying the faint promise of rain. Eleanor smiled at the familiarity of it. Some things left. Some things stayed. And some things, love, memory, the words written but never sent, found their way back to her when she needed them the most.
That is a devastatingly perfect example of the term haunting the narrative. That is textbook. That is an excellent depiction of when a character haunts a narrative. And fuck this author, because I have been holding back tears due to how much this reminds me of my grandmother. So I can't imagine how the other people in this chat are currently doing right now, because they've lost people even closer than a grandmother. So fuck.
I'm not getting the duct tape.
I'm getting the wiffle ball bat.
I know we don't need more of that. I mean, it was great. It was beautiful. It was.
Oh no, it was amazing. And applause, literally applause.
It wouldn't be eliciting this response if it wasn't wonderful.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah, absolutely.
I'm so sorry.
But that entire bit with like the way people act, the way like you instinctively turn towards someone expecting them to be there, the way that her spot in church was still being left into that's phenomenal examples of when a character haunts a narrative. It's just
Uh-huh.
Look, With all due respect, fuck off, Nathan. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, Julie just saw my message.
I'm gonna need a minute, guys. I'm just.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
still
no.
here.
Yeah. No,
She was
absolutely.
Now's a good
But
chance to
yeah,
get up, stretch your legs.
I'm just gonna need a minute.
Yep.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think this is a perfect opportunity, real quick, to if you did not grab, because we normally do the warning, grab your stress balls, your hankies, your drinks, etc. Good, quick moment to do the things that we need to do. And we will be back with another story here in just a moment. Right
Good
click.
chance for a bio break. Get up, stretch your legs. Don't want to get blood
Yep.
clots. Everyone stand up and walk around.
Yes, absolutely. No blood clots. We're all getting older.
I'm next.
Oh, shit balls. We'll be right back.
Isn't that your mouse?
Yes, I'm sorry. I am not the man you knew. I know that you've been waiting for. What kind of things did you do? Left a trail of red on every island. As I traded friends like objects I could use. Hurt my lives and I can count on my hands. But all of that was to bring me back to you. So tell me what you fall in love with me again if you knew all I've done, the things I cannot change. Would you love me all the same? I know that you've been waiting. If that's true,
That will bring me some peace. See, I would even. Could you keep it over? Take it far away from me. I have felt that mighty hand, the blood and sweat. Caught it into the love train when we first met. I sent my hope on love everlasting. Do you realize what you have asked me? Leave you right in my best. Yes, to call and promise you. Hey, you two, stop it. Stay alone. Leave her alone. Yeah, I know, but I'm babysitting her. Well, so you have to put up with it. Arizona, go lay down. Stay alone. Punk ass bitch. She wait until I get a kitten. You won't be top cat around here much longer. Okay. Oops, I thought I was muted. I'm so sorry.
You're
It's
fine.
okay. Sometimes we have to remind our animals that they are not top dogs around here.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got Arizona over here with me while Nick's in town, and Salem is not happy about having a dog in her space. Arguing with them is definitely easier than hurting them.
I mean, I've herded cats from one room to the other. Did they stay there? No, but I've done it. I love how some people are blissfully eating Chinese food, completely unaware of the emotional Chernobyl that they have set off. Because that's where Nathan is right now. He's eating Chinese food,
Oh,
blissfully unaware of
okay.
the emotional Chernobyl that he has set off.
There's
Because
the missing detail. There's the
yeah. He says Julie to do the impossible. I mean, this show this show exists because someone told me I couldn't do it.
And Julie said bet.
And I said, hold my beer. At that time was hold my fucking Red Bull. And it's like, and watch me. I was told that even if I did get it up, nobody would ever show up. Apparently, this is like fucking Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come.
Yep.
So the more people keep telling me to not to,
Look,
the more
man,
I can do.
I keep telling people the best fuel is spite. Spite and audacity. It's what keeps me going.
Yeah.
Are you done?
Oh,
You
he was
done
talking
being a
about
bitch
hurting
to your
cats.
sister? Yeah. But it still applies.
No. Cats are gonna definitely do whatever the hell they want to do. But at this particular point, if I was to make one fucking sound, all three of them would come in here, and I am really good with not having things knocked off my desk right now. So we're just gonna go with that.
You're getting much better about being manhandled. Normally, you'd be freaking out right now. I know, you're very unhappy. Because as much as you're a lap kitty, you're not a cuddle kitty. You don't like being held. I know. And you're let go and you stay right there.
No, I thought we were talking about getting a certain person published. It's like, yeah, leave it to me. I will figure it the fuck out. That's what I thought the conversation was talking about.
Oh, you hear that, honey?
Kitty. Kitty, kitty,
And you know what? That is completely true and valid and everything like that. Because even when I had nobody showing up on Saturday nights when we first started this, and the first couple of Saturday nights, that's exactly the way that went. It's like it was me and Patrick didn't have anything going on. Patrick was up in the box with me because we started over on TikTok.
The TikTok.
It's been so long since I've been on it, I forgot the fucking name of it.
No,
So
we
we
were
started over on the
talking.
clock.
We were talking about that specifically, but Shar was also arguing with the cat, and Bitzer was talking about arguing is about as pointless an exercise as herding cats, and then you said something about herding cats. So that's where they were going.
Okay,
So
well,
two
I missed that part of the
conversations.
conversation. I thought it was like, we'll just leave it to Julie. And I'm sitting there like, no, we leave a lot of shit to Julie. And what happens? We have an entire fucking show on Saturday nights. Thank you for joining us.
We were just having we were just having two conversations happening at the same time.
Hey, I've had
Coexisting.
4 conversations going with 3 different people at once. I had 2 conversations going with one person, and then 1 conversation going with 2 other people, all at once. I can multitask. Don't test me.
But yeah, no, apparently Nathan is eating egg rolls and blissfully unaware.
He'll find out later.
Yeah, he's going to find out later. I told him I hope he choked on an egg roll.
You hate being held, but you love being my drum kit.
Go figure. While I'm wearing tentacles. Because next up is this one right here.
Ah.
Okay, if you could scoot the chair over just a wee bit more, because I feel like I'm straightening. There we go. Peachy Keen. We got it.
Ow.
Salem. Behave.
To be fair, she gets at least 1. I'm sitting here whacking her ass. She gets 1.
She gets 1.
And it wasn't even a bite, it was a ha.
So what do we got? Yes, 100% Luna. I need Nathan Stark books on that shelf with all the rest of my indie authors.
Technically, I bullied him into this, so
yeah. And now the rest of us are jumping on that bandwagon because we will be able to say we knew Nathan Stark back when.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right.
There's been a lot of them that I've bullied into this, and then now look.
Mm-hmm.
Now look.
Absolutely. All right. The Garden and a Mighty Oak. Wind carried the smell of rain long before the first drop touched the ground. Varan looked out the bay window of his private apartments, contemplating the beauty of the greenery just outside as the drops of water started to fall. He noted each and every drop, hitting leaves, blades of grass, the petals of flowers. Eventually, the entire garden was dancing as the water hit the foliage, the movement taking him out of his mind to somewhere far away, his eyes closing as he absorbed the rhythm of the small storm. Your Majesty, the caravan from the Vermilion Palace has been sighted and will be here within a few hours. His assistant's voice broke into the king's reverie. Ileandra. Varan opened his eyes, his mind going from the storm to her as her name came out under his breath. Thank you, Ziggy. Would you please go inform Wayun that I would like him to accompany me when I ride out to greet the regent and Lord Udrin? He looked over his shoulder at the young man standing behind him. Yes, Your Majesty. He turned, leaving the king alone again. He turned his attention back to the garden, recentering his attention on the storm and its inundation of the plants surrounding the verdant palace. A while longer, and the brief shower ended, leaving the lush greenery satiated and covered in moisture. A little longer yet, and Varan finally turned from the window, retreating to his bedchamber to change into more formal robes. While Ileandra was his wife, she was now also a visiting dignitary, the representative for a neighboring kingdom that was still separate from his own despite their marriage. In many ways, their union was only valid in the eyes of the temple, which, for Varan, was potentially more important. He had changed, emerging from his chambers when his assistant returned, seemingly flustered, a common state for the man when it came to errands related to the king's heir. What is it now, Ziggy? He was exasperated, knowing that his assistant had been unable to locate the prince simply by the look on his face. He doesn't seem to be anywhere in the palace. Neither is his cousin, Hector. Their horses are missing from the stables, he confirmed. I see. I will go find them when I ride out to meet the Vermilion entourage. I have a good idea where I might find the boys, the king replied. Thank you, Ziggy. He excused the young man and made his way to the stables where his horse was tacked and ready for him. He mounted the mare and rode out, 4 guards following him. Wayun threw the black silken robes over the saddle, then followed his cousin as they scrambled into the branches of the tree's massive canopy. Hector, his half-human cousin, had already settled into the massive Y shape, where the boys would hide from the world and discuss their problems with each other. They worked issues out with each other, relying on the other as a sounding board. The prince's current problem was a princess. I can't believe you're betrothed. Such an antiquated ritual, Hector commented as the other boy settled into the crux of the tree with him, the shaking from the two of them climbing causing some of the freshly fallen rain to filter through the dense latticework of leaves. I can't believe that my father is forcing me to do this. No doubt mother is rolling in her sepulcher that I am being bound to only be with one person. And the girl is a dragon, no less. Not sure what she would think of that. Wayun ran his long, bony fingers through the thick black hair he had inherited
From her. I don't know what that bee is.
from her and moved it out of his eyes. I had always thought our mother's family was friendly with the dragons. Isn't Uncle your father's ambassador to the Vermilion? Hector had only met the elf lord that was both of their mother's youngest sibling. Wayun, on the other hand, had been partially raised by him after his mother's death on the orders of the King of Death. Is he not with the Vermilion delegation coming with their regent? The prince was confused to whether the other boy was just being curious or seeking clarification. That is what father said yesterday at breakfast. He got to his feet, peering out through an open patch in the massive oak's shade. Que ves, Wayun? Hector asked the prince. Both boys were fluent in the human language, both of them having learned it because of the half-elf's human father's heritage. Nada, mi amigo, he answered, the prince staring off into the distance. He saw movement, but it didn't register in his unfocused mind. He hung his head, looking down at his long, bony fingers, thinking about the discussion between him and his father the previous night at supper. I just don't understand why this union between myself and Princess Okara is so important to father. I know he was friends with King Durand, but I still don't get what is so urgent that father has ventured back and forth between the Vermilion Palace and our capital over the past 4 years, and now they come to us. He was venting to his cousin, who quietly listened. Oh, and you should have seen and heard how he went on about the Regent Ileandra. You would think he was in love with her the way he was talking. He added as he looked back out of the opening. Didn't your father pursue someone else to be his queen before he married your mother? Hector's tone was genuinely curious. Not to my knowledge. Where did you hear that? Wayun had never heard that rumor before. I overheard your brother and
Arlius.
Arlius discussing it in the garden the other day, and they were talking about your father and some princess as though they had something between them. The boy replied. My brother was talking about that princess again? It's like he knows something I don't. I feel like I'm being left out, and I'm father's heir. Wayun started brooding, offended that his brother might know something he didn't. Cousin, he's your older brother. You were the spare. He was almost an adult when you were born. He would have been your father's heir if it weren't for his injury and the seizures. You damn well know that. Hector reminded the prince, who crossed his arms, curling up into the crook of the tree he had found for himself. I just don't understand why father wouldn't tell me if there was something that would affect the empire. Wayun was still acting moody when he heard the whinny of a horse in the distance. He jumped to his feet, clamoring to look out of the open patch, but not seeing anyone riding toward the tree from the stables. There's no one there, he heard Hector report as he leaned his head back and closed his eyes. It just doesn't make sense. Pele was my age when he started learning from father how to run the empire. Why is he not even trying to start teaching me? The prince was still going on about his lot in life. Maybe he doesn't feel you're ready yet? You still can be very immature at times. Besides, your voice hasn't even started to change, nor have your ears started to lengthen. Other than the acne on your face, you haven't shown any signs of puberty yet. The other boy's words stung the prince, causing the frown on his face to grow. Take that back. That wasn't nice, Hector, he retorted, kicking his foot in his cousin's direction. The shadow across his brow grew darker. What? It's true. You haven't started your change, the boy protested. You are younger than me. My voice is already changing, and my ears have gotten longer in the past month. Grandfather said he noticed last week. I'm not that much younger than you. Wei was at a loss for how to respond. We all have our change at the right time for us. You know what grandfather has said. Everyone grows at their own pace. Hector stood over Wei extending his hand out for the moping prince to take. Why do I need your help? I'm the crown prince and I can help myself. He pushed his cousin, the other boy almost losing his balance. Hey, don't do that. I could have fallen off the branch. Hector came back towards the prince, his hands open in front of him in submission. Wayun, please, I didn't. His sentence was cut short by the prince pushing him a second time, Hector's foot slipping off the branch, causing him to start to slide out of the tree. Wayun jumped, attempting to catch the other boy, nearly missing grabbing his hand. He used two knobs near the side of the crook to brace his feet, while he assured his while he assured his grip on Hector's wrist, holding on to a sturdier, smaller bough to help anchor himself so he could help his cousin back up. I'm sorry, Heck. I really am. A tear rolled down his cheek as his efforts to pull became more difficult. Help me, Heck. I'm going to drop you. Wayun's high-pitched, almost nasally whine. The other boy's legs kicked in the air, trying to find a foothold. I can't get a grip anywhere. I'm trying, but I can't. Hector struggled with his free hand, trying to find something to grasp so he wouldn't slip from the prince's hold on him. I've almost got it, he finally exclaimed as his fingers found a hole in one of the knots, allowing him to swing a foot and climb back up on the branch. With a great heave, Wayun helped to get the other boy back in the branches. Both boys were covered in sweat and debris from the exertion, Wayun having several small leaves caught in his already unruly hair. That was a close one, Hector. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for you to fall. I only wanted you to stop talking. I don't want to grow up. I don't want to be king. And I definitely don't want to marry the Princess Zokara. He was crying, his cousin unsure of what to do or how to help him. That's not what he's saying later. Oh, Suki.
Not that high pitched, but okay. The next
Gosh, you stressed me out with that fucking tree scene. God damn. You can't go talking about having a spare and then have one of them almost fall out of a tree. That's not cool.
It's not done.
No, it's not done. I'm just
Doesn't change the fact that you had me stressed and that's not cool. Finished
well,
off or not,
Wayun
that's
was
not
the
cool.
spare. Wayun was the spare. Wayun is now
It would just be.
not the spare.
It would be an interesting literary device to have him bitching about how he's a spare, and then his cousin ends up dying because of him.
I mean, true. But there's now no spare? Technically?
Technically, no.
Yeah.
At this point in the story, there is no spare.
Well, actually,
Eh.
yeah, no, there is no spare.
At this point in the story, there's no spare. Okay. Wayun, I know. Maybe one day you'll change your mind, Hector finally offered. Change my mind? How? I don't get to choose anything I do. He spat, starting to sulk again. They heard a horse whinny again, closer this time. Both boys looked around their perch, trying to see who it could be. I don't see anyone, Heck. He was cut off by a horse stomping, causing his and Hector's horses to chuff in response. The fight I heard is the reason I have not told you anything more than what I discussed with you when I came home from the Vermilion Palace, Wayun. His father's voice came from below them, both boys poking their heads out from their hiding spot and looking down at the king. You've been listening to us, the prince sighed, looking at the other boy, then back down at his father. Yes, it's quite hard not to listen to the two of you carrying on. Now, the both of you need to come down. Veron dismounted from the horse, standing patiently as he watched both boys scramble out from beneath the canopy. Hector, I didn't want to involve you, but it's too late. You're already here, and now there's no going back to the palace. You're going to ride out with Wayun and I to greet the Vermilion delegation and your uncle. The king began to look both boys over, pulling the leaves out of the prince's hair, trying to calm the locks nearly standing on end. Both of you, get your robes on, he told them after he was satisfied they were looking as good as they were going to be. It will have to do. He shook his head as he placed both his hands on Wei shoulders, their blue eyes meeting. I expect you to be on your best behavior, and I warn you to be courteous to the regent. Not only is she an honored guest from a different land, she's also my consort. He finished, brushing debris from the tree off both boys, pulling the final leaf out of his son's hair. Wait, she's my stepmother? The prince was indignant. The disbelief coursed through his body as he took a ragged breath. Why didn't you tell me? I did, the other night during our conversation at supper. You were much more enamored with your soup than I imagined. Veron looked Wayun over one last time, noting the acne on the boy's face. Looks like you'll be growing into your ears soon. he said, then motioned to the horses the boys had rode to the tree on. Time to mount up. Let's go. Yes, father, Wayun replied, the shock of the news he had a stepmother still sinking in. Hector remained silent, immediately climbing on his horse as told. The boy finally pulled himself out of his consternation, joining his father and cousin on their horses as they began to finish the trek to where they would greet the incoming caravan from the Dragonlands.
Yes.
Dun dun dun.
Baby girl, what are you doing to me?
Pardon me.
Tape her to the keyboard. I love that we can hear it.
That sounds like an awful lot of tape.
We can't.
Tickles.
It tickles.
Oh, we're gonna get flagged.
We're so ridiculous. It's fine. At least she's not doing it on camera.
Yeah, that's true. I swear to fuck, if that camera pops up, she's got tape on her mouth.
I was expecting to see her like stuck to a keyboard or something,
I
or at
literally.
least taped to a chair.
Does anybody remember those old radio programs or hearing about them? Like, I was doing this. And then she jumps in with the, oh, that tickles.
See, this is why Izzy's a better person than me, because the camera would have come back up and she would have been taped to the chair.
Well, yeah, but Patch's hair is down. That to her.
Bullshit, you liar. All right, take your name off the screen, woman. We're going to talk about that scene later.
What? That was
Have a
mild.
discussion.
That was mild.
No, yeah, it is. No, from a perspective, because prime example, right? I always thought about the limiting of the word count as very limiting. However, Bitzer said something a couple of weeks ago in the Discord VC where it was like, yeah, it can be limiting, but there's the fact that when you're limited to these words, you can go back over it and really delve deep into making sure that it says what you want it to say, right?
Right.
And while this one is our beloved voracious writer and has the top spot for the year in word count, and these are rough drafts, right? Our whole point is get the words on the paper. Well, now you got the words on the paper. What's the next step? The next step is cutting out any kind of redundancies or making sure that it's saying what you're wanting it to say in as many words as it actually takes. And so that's that next writing step going, well, you could write it this way, you could shorten this section. You don't need to use both boys every single time you mention the boys.
Get a chance to
No, it's fine. It's
know.
fine. And these are the things that once you've got it down on paper and you're going back through and piecing everything together and whatnot, those are the next steps, right? I do that while I'm writing my rough draft.
I have a list of words that I will Control F and look for throughout my manuscript.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll go through and delete them. And it's words like, like you go through like, because I did not realize how much I use the word that until I searched it, and it was like one of my most used words. I think it was in like top 4.
Yeah. I mean, various different words. I found a video on YouTube and I went through and this woman explained why these specific words are useless, except when they're not. And
Yeah, I was
she
gonna say
went through
I
she
don't
went
like
through
the
and explained why she called them useless words and then also gave examples of when they're not useless and
yeah.
they are the correct word. And I found it to be a very useful video and I wrote them all down. And now when I get done and I'm working on something, I look for these words and go, okay, can I say that in a better way?
Yeah.
Or is that
Ano-
exactly the words that I need to use?
Another great example of things to look for is adverbs. Adverbs
Mhm.
have their place. They're very
They really
useful.
do.
Adjectives are very useful to have their place, but can you find a word that can replace the adverb and the word you're using the adverb to strengthen?
Yep.
And in my collection of short stories, my shortest story is 108 words, and it's one of my favorites in the entire.
Because you can say hurriedly walked or you could say hustled.
Yeah.
Hurriedly being the adverb, walked being the action, and expand the vocabulary into hustled because now you know that they are walking fast.
And honestly,
So,
hustled paints a better picture. It helps you imagine the way they're running way better.
absolutely.
My iPad is back, so I get to shuffle you guys around.
Earthquake! I've got him listed as not to be confused with my child. All right. Next up. Oh, you're good. Yeah, you took it off. On the job training. Next up, as you can see on the bottom of your screen. Here, you know what? You say it.
Wilhelm F. Ruffy. Ruffy.
There we go. I got props. It says Tula Tarn is pronounced how you did so last time. I did good. More spider monster. The wind carried the smell of rain long before the first drop touched the ground. Robert tapped the windshield wipers when it came, cursing silently that the weather itself had deigned to make his work that much harder. He had to follow the sheriff's van at a distance without looking like he was, avoiding both the human eyes and the inhuman ones peering into the night. All the while, Sarah was muttering to herself, seemingly lost in her own world at the exact moment he needed help the most. While driving down an alleyway to disguise his route, he tapped her, hissing, "Hey, I need some help here." "Sorry, but Tulatarn, does that name mean something to you?" "It's familiar. I need to look into the records to be sure, though." "Let me guess. A library in the sea." "Where else would it be?" Sarah asked. "I obviously can't tell you the coordinates, but we do need to go there." "I'm not exactly a scuba diver," Robert muttered, easing the car out of the end of the alleyway and glancing up the road. He cursed, seeing the sheriff's van slipping around a corner 4 blocks up. "That's the way to the highway." "Oh, is it?" "Damn it, Sarah. Do you want to find your brother or not?" Robert snarled. "Sorry, but I'm trying to place Tulatarn. If I can remember what our enemy is about, that'll help, won't it?" Robert couldn't argue with her. knowing she was right, but that helping him in the moment was more important. So he turned onto the road and carefully drove through the rain as the sprinkle on the windows turned into a downpour. A few drops ran through a bad seal on the door and fell on Sarah's arm, her pale skin turning into silvery scales where they touched. Are you going to turn into a mermaid if we step into the rain? Huh? Oh. Sarah glanced down at her arm and rubbed off the water, her scales fading away. Sorry, I was distracted. So was I, Robert reflected, focusing on the road. He drove across the street they had taken, knowing that if he fell in behind them and had to follow them in the countryside, he may as well have put a flashing light on top of his car. To his relief, the van was already turning off the road to the highway. To his dismay, this was the road which led to the cemetery. Cursing under his breath, he continued trailing the van between the tightly packed houses of the city as the skies opened up overhead. There was no lightning, but the rain sounded like thunder on the roof. It was at the end of a winding lane covered by the reaching branches of trees, with the graveyard looming to one side, that their chase reached its end. The van parked in the lot outside a darkened church, the sacred ground having been appropriated for more esoteric purposes, or so Robert assumed. He himself drove by, catching a glimpse of the two men and Tualatarn slipping down an exterior basement entrance before driving down a and block and one over, parking in front of a grocer's store. Robert turned off the engine and took a deep breath, leaning against the wheel and listening to the rain rolling over the roof as he contemplated his next move. Sarah broke the stillness, shooting him a sullen look as she said, I don't think it would be wise to storm the church and rescue my brother. No, Robert agreed, his hand moving to the door handle. And it'd only make things worse for us to be found inside a stolen car. I can drive it back and meet up with you in your car, Sarah suggested, if you don't mind splitting up. I do mind, but we don't have a squad to work with at the moment. Sarah nodded, scooting across the seat as Robert took up his bag of tricks and stepped into the driving rain to do some of the most dangerous detective work of his life. For the second time that evening, Robert entered a car he did not own. This time, though, it was the covered bed of a pickup truck which smelled of rotten hay and old oil. From this hiding place, sheltered from the worst of the rain, he watched the church, able to see the sheriff's van, the basement entrance, and the front doors of the building. Like most stakeouts, there was a great deal of nothing except fighting against the weather and his own fatigue. It was also like them in that at any moment he might be brutally killed. The memory of looking out over shell blasted lands behind sandbags, listening to the distant whistle of artillery, overlaid themselves with looking out of an alleyway at a window across the way as the cable cars trundled by. One had ended with him running as bullets whizzed over his head and the lands exploded. The other as a pot-bellied man with a sawed-off baseball bat had chased him down Powell Street. This vigil ended when the front doors of the church opened, the black-robed pastor and the white hat from before walking down the steps, speaking to one another. Over the patter of rain and wash of water running down the gutters, Robert heard a catch of their conversation. Shame, right shame, White Hat said. If you can't, Vince your gradation, gregation, elder, maybe a little dose of my there not resort to that sort of devilry, the pastor said gravely, shaking his head. If they can't be convinced the old fashioned way, then he turned his head and looked back inside, his words lost forever to Robert until he glanced back at White Hat. Guessed she's not one to take no for an answer. She'll stay as long as we have no other place for her, White Hat retorted. Marv, please, you know how important this is. You ask so much of me. First, the thunder rolled through the air. You asked me to hold those drifters in my own home, and now this monster must take residence in my church, mere feet away from where little. Another peal of thunder. White Hat began to speak during the rumble, taking out a pocket watch. That we've sacrificed too much to let that weigh on us now. Time grows short. The new world beckons. And what would I say to the parents of any child who vanishes? Tell them a drifter kidnapped the tyke. They'll eat that shit up and you know it. The pastor bristled, turning his back on the street and staring back into his house of worship. He must have spoken, for White Hat said, I hear you, but you're not listening to me. A murmur echoed through the rain. Fine, whatever soothes your conscience. White Hat put away his watch and marched into the street, calling back, Remember, we're sticking to the schedule, whatever you do. To Robert's horror, White Hat walked right across the street to the truck. He seized his gun, ready to shoot the man dead the second he came around the back. Instead, something worse happened. White Hat walked to the cab and stepped inside, the engine rumbling to life while the pastor turned and stared at the truck, a mournful look on his face. Robert gritted his teeth, knowing that if he jumped out now, he'd be spotted and give up a chance of being driven to one of the cult leader's hideouts. If he didn't jump, he might well be driven into a death trap with no escape and no hope of aid. He was still wrestling with what to do, turning it over and over in his head as he stood on the precipice when the truck pulled out onto the road and rolled off into the rain-soaked night for parts unknown.
Good advice, Blitzer. Always beware of anyone working for a new world order.
That's it.
Yeah.
Death. Bad death.
You know it's only going to get worse now, starting in January when we are all anonymous and we all have that word count limit. There's going to be cliffhangers galore.
Yes, but at least then we'll be numbered.
Trust me, we all know each other's writing styles. We're going to be like, 1 is Patrick, 2 is Julie, 3 is Izzy, 4 is Cash.
Oh, you
We're
think so?
all
Do
going
you? You think so? Do you?
to. Well, you're going to know everybody because you're the host.
I
Right.
am still sworn to secrecy on the integrity of the show.
Yes.
Yeah, but we all know each other's writing style. It's going to be fairly obvious.
You think
I
so? I
don't
don't think it's going to
know.
be that obvious because I don't know how many times I was pegged for your stuff. I don't know how many times I was pegged for Izzy's stuff, and everybody thought for the longest time Nathan was me. It is obviously not.
And my anonymous stuff, people thought it was you, Patrick.
They had it down between it was either me or it was you,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like,
So
it's neither. I'm not giving up who it is, but I'm like, it's neither.
yes, Leon. Oh God, I'm agreeing with Leon for the second time tonight. Jesus H fucking Christ, what the fuck is happening here? It's going to be messy. It's going to be messy. It's bear with us. The fact that we are doing this for 5 weeks straight. Of course, I had to pick a month that has 5 Saturdays. My bad. I'm sorry. Yes, Luna, you will submit them the same way because we're going to continue to keep track of your word count, right? But you will be assigned a number. So if you're doing um let's say I'm submitting a story about a haunted house. I'm not, so this is safe. Um, I would be submitter one. Now, if the next week I'm submitting another scene in that story, well, then I'm still submitter one, right? Julie and I will know who is who, and so we'll keep the numbers. Then January 31st, we'll do the big reveal. Everybody gets to guess who did this, who did that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then your stories, as you know, oh, okay, I'm submitter one. It will then be changed to Izzy, so that way by the end of the year, my numbers are totaled up for me.
Right.
So there is a plan, a lot of back end kind of machinations, but it's probably going to be a little messy, and we're going to do our damnedest to make sure that we don't give away who everybody is. But we all know Julie and I have no poker faces whatsoever. She has those expressive eyebrows, and I can't keep a straight face if I wanted to.
Izzy's face has subtitles.
Yes.
Yes.
I can keep a straight face if I need to.
The fuck you can.
And I can't keep nothing straight.
Can't if I wear a
Yeah,
hat. Can't wear a
definitely not.
It'll be a very interesting month for the people who submit just standalone short stories rather than an ongoing story.
You could do that as
Oh,
well.
okay. The first weekend, like next week, when everybody comes in, everybody will have we will have a tablet with your number on it, so we can keep up with who's who. But when it comes to the end of the month, then we do the whole thing and the big reveal. So it doesn't matter if you get your stuff in first, you'll have or early, you will have one of the lower numbers. But let's say or the third week, you submit late, you're still going to have that same number.
Yes.
We'll know who the numbers belong to. Nobody else will.
It's the audience. It's the audience who's in the dark.
Right.
The audience will, ooh, that's mine, but I'm not going to say anything. So also don't out yourself in the comments. But like, Shar and Dahlia are both famous for doing little snippets here and there, right? You don't have to stay within the same story. For some of us, it might be a little bit more difficult to come up with multiple concepts because now suddenly we've got 5 new works in progress. But those of you that do short stories, right, could potentially submit a new short story every single week or the start of a new short story. Please also remember that submissions are limited to 2,500 words.
I'm responsible
Next week.
for that one.
Yes, this one is wholly responsible for that one because she also encouraged Cash, or no, she's Cash, Julie and Patrick to start submitting very long frickin' things to try and catch up with her.
I didn't encourage them.
That was very friendly competition, which we failed at miserably. I still came in second place for the year, but it's like we failed miserably.
That's also because there's a couple times I didn't write because one, I just didn't have the spoons for it.
Nope.
There's been plenty of weeks that, some of us couldn't write. Some of us, we have lives outside the show. Hey, EJ, welcome. Long time no see.
Ooh, I just dissociated for like 30 seconds. Shit. Fuck. I was zoned right out.
I ain't looking
No, there's no pictures. We're fine.
right now.
But yeah, but it also writers, if you've got something that you want to try, or if you have an idea that isn't really going to go anywhere, it's just you want to get it the hell out of your head and you want to, see what people think of this particular thing. That's what January is about. And that's the fun part about January is nobody's going to know. It's not going to be nobody's going to know. Everybody's going to know. Nobody's going to know until January 31st, which is the last Saturday of that month. So literally the last day of the month is when people are going to freaking figure it out. And yes, we will probably have a poll somewhere for fucking shits and giggles on who's who. Just to keep the engagement going.
It'll be fun seeing everybody guess. Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
And even
Absolutely.
if you guess right,
Nobody's gonna. We'll never say.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody
But yeah.
didn't get paid this week like he was supposed to, so he's not out drinking. Any hoozle.
Moving right along.
Because next is Dahlia. Are we transitioning?
Oh, yeah.
On the job training there, woman. Okay. Are we ready to see how scared Izzy gets? Cause even if it's innocent, I'm scared.
Yeah, fair. That's fair. That's entirely fair. Yeah.
I'm already scarred for life.
I don't know. I still love French toast.
I know, right?
And there's so many people in this chat that don't understand that joke.
They don't. I'm going to tell you, go back over to the YouTube channel and go look for what did we figure out? November 2nd? November 2nd or November 9th?
I think so.
There he is.
Here's
I think it's
Dahlia.
what? There is Dahlia. Apparently.
And we summoned the horror queen. French toast cotton candy cultists.
Don't you have a do not disturb mode?
I don't have it turned on for him.
That's sure something else is turned on for him, though.
Okay, now it's going to be on YouTube for time and all eternity.
Mm-hmm. No shame. No shame.
No, but being on YouTube for all eternity, and if he ever watches it, any hoozle. Dahlia's story. And in the chat, she goes, "Guess what? I had cotton candy flavored grapes for Christmas."
Talia, I love you so much.
Oh God. Dad, I am so glad to get to see the stars with you, Bowie said, staring up at the Milky Way. Me too, sweetie, Bowie's dad said as he boiled some water on a battery-powered kettle. Grabbing some mugs, he added hot chocolate powder, then poured boiling water into each mug. She's gonna ruin hot chocolate. She's gonna ruin hot chocolate for me.
You don't know that. It could be a very sweet moment.
Stirring the powder, Bowie's dad placed some marshmallows in as a final touch. Hot chocolate time, Bowie's dad said. All the kids got up from their spots, grabbed a mug, and placed their space-themed lids on top. Thank you for bringing us all out, Evan, Joseph said. You're welcome. I hope you are enjoying. Sitting down, they sipped on their drinks as they picked a new part of the sky to look at. I sure am. I never knew there were this many stars in the sky. Why do we not see them when we are in town? Joseph asked. The light pollution from the town causes many stars to disappear. You need to find a nice dark area with no light if you want to see many stars, Evan replied. Can you bring us out to see the stars more? Noelle asked. Of course. It's always nice to have company, Evan said, pausing for a moment just as the sky lit up with meteors. just in time. The kids' eyes went big as the sky lit up while they hummed in awe, turning from one another as they sipped their hot chocolate. The next day, Bowie woke up, jumped out of her blankets, and headed to the open window. The wind blew into the room, carrying the smell of rain long before the first drop touched the ground. Bowie watched as clouds rolled over the house. She closed the window and grabbed a coloring book as she waited for all her friends to wake up. Good morning, Noelle whispered. Good morning. Do you think the boys are up now? Bowie replied. Let's go see, Noelle said, crawling out of her blankets. Opening the door, the girls tiptoed downstairs into the living room and knocked on the door at the far right side of the room. Are you guys up? Bowie and Noelle both whispered. With a small crack of the door, Ethan poked his head out. It's just me up. Joseph is still sleeping, Ethan replied. Come out here. We will play in the treehouse till he comes back, Bowie said. What if he can't find us? Ethan said. We will leave a note, Bowie replied, grabbing a piece of paper and scribbling an image of the treehouse with stick figures of them playing. It said, in the treehouse. Ethan left the note on the bedroom desk. Heading outside, they climbed into the treehouse just as it began to rain. Inside, they grabbed cotton candy dolls and played pretend, imagining different adventures in cotton candy land. Flying around the room, the dolls ate up the treehouse. Oh no, they're eating the treehouse. We must stop them before the treehouse is no more, Noelle yelled as she jumped around pretending to catch the other dolls. Hee hee, you can't catch us. We have tremendous powers to avoid our enemies, Bowie giggled. It's time for breakfast, Bowie's mom said over the treehouse speaker on the roof. One by one, the kids swung on a rope and fell into a pit filled with soft, cloud-like planets. A robotic arm came down, grabbed the ropes, and hung them up at the top of the treehouse, ready for the next use. Hopping out of the pit, rain-soaked, the kids ran inside and sat at the table. Pancakes of all kinds filled the table. Blueberry, chocolate chip, pumpkin, and many other flavored pancakes. Filling their plates, they placed fruits, maple syrup, and whipped cream on their pancakes, making funny images on their plates. Huh, is Joseph still sleeping? Bowie asked, looking around. Would you mind going to wake him up? Bowie's mom asked. Quickly, Bowie ran to wake him up. Opening the door, she saw him spread across the bed while the blanket was used as a pillow. Gently shaking him, he stirred, mumbling as he turned away from her. Wake up, Joseph. We've got your favorite kind of pancakes on the table. Turning to Bowie, he rubbed his eyes. Pancakes, coconut flavored with fruits, Joseph whispered. Yes, now come eat up. At the table, everyone ate up their breakfast in silence until Bowie and Joseph joined them. The room filled with chatter as they tried to decide what they should do for the day. Treehouse time, movie day, and imagination machine were shouted out, filling the room with different ideas. Guys, we should go explore the stars. Maybe we could find aliens and explore different planets and different galaxies, Joseph suggested. I had such an incredible dream about all of us exploring space. Ooh, yes, let's go see the stars, Noelle said.
How did I know this one wasn't going to have a twist?
Yeah, but I remember who Bowie is, and I remember the bubbles, and
Yeah,
there's
it eventually goes there. Yes, I know.
I love how the moment food is mentioned in one of Dahlia's stories, we all get nervous.
Yes. See, we are now traumatized.
Yeah. All because of that one story way back in the beginning.
See, you call it traumatized, I call it trauma bonded, but either which way, we're all fucked.
Yeah.
Yes.
Trauma bonded is a good term for it. Also, look, she didn't ruin hot chocolate for you.
Don't give her ideas.
Not yet.
No, wait, give her ideas.
I promise you, they're already in her head.
They are. They are. They are. They are.
Is that how she left it? Is that
Dun dun dun.
I mean, it's innocent, but we know there's more.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yes, any kind of food. I will never be able to eat cotton candy again.
Look, right after that show, literally right after the show, the next morning I had to go to Dollar General to go get something to drink
Oh, yeah.
and a couple of things that I had forgotten for dinner. And I'm standing behind this lady holding my basket, trying to mind my own damn business. And the lady in front of me has 2 giant containers of the fucking cotton candy. And I am sitting there giggling and gagging at the same time.
One of
And
these days,
it's
I'm
every
going to
single
hop.
day.
One of these days, I'm going to hop on here, and I'm just going to be eating a plate of French toast.
Yes, so if you ever go back and look through the Discord things and you see pictures of people's French toast plates, it is an inside joke. And you'll have to watch it's either November 2nd or November 9th,
I'm
2024.
I'm literally pulling up the YouTube
It's
now
the
to check
9th,
which one
right?
it is.
I think it's the 9th. I
I feel
want to
like
say
it's
it was
the 9th.
because it's
I
the wall.
know the thumbnail. I know the exact thumbnails. I just have to go through and find the thumbnail, and I'll be able to tell you which one it is.
Right.
Because
It
I
was
remember
what
what I was wearing, and I remember the reaction I had.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, but you edit. I think that's one of the ones that you edited down and uploaded.
Yeah.
So, because
Also,
back when we had time for editing down,
I'm so sorry.
but that's
no,
what started.
we collectively, no, don't apologize. I kind of like the way they are now. Like the only ones that I really want to like cut down is the ones where we had so much scuff in the beginning.
Yeah.
God,
The hour and a half of stuff.
yeah, the hour and a half of scuff, and
Yeah.
now like we are doing so November 9th. Yep. So go back, watch November 9th so you can be traumatized about French toast with the rest of us.
It's literally the first video. It's the first video.
Yep. Because that's when we started putting them on we figured out how to download the TikTok and Char edited and we put them up there and yeah. So all that fun stuff. So yeah.
Let's see. Hi, sweetie. Yes, hello.
Kitty.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Ready?
We are ready. Up next is PA Power. I'm questioning if he's just otherwise occupied, not realizing that he was up next, or if he's hiding because. Yeah, there
No,
you
I have
are.
my camera off because my husband was talking to me and he doesn't like being on camera.
That's fair. That's fair. I make sure that the kids, you know, I usually have an on air sign. Oh God, marshmallows.
Yes, I hear the mouse in the wall too. I hear it too. Yep. I know. There's nothing you could do about it.
She's looking at you, going, "Do something." That's what that look said.
I know. It's literally right there. I can hear it. That's what happens it's a cabin.
It's a
It's literally
cabin.
it's plywood, insulation, 2x4s, siding. That's it. That's all it is. They get in the walls very easily. I know.
All
Go kill
right.
another one.
Kitty cat, do your job and get the mice.
I wake up with dead mouse guts all over the floor practically every morning. She earns her keep here.
Right. All right. PA Power. This chapter is entitled Crown. The wind carried the smell of rain long before the first drop touched the ground. It swept across the bluff in low, restless currents, tugging at Michelle's hair and whispering against the stone like a warning the mountain itself could not hold back. Snow still clung stubbornly to the earth, but the air had shifted, heavier now, charged with something unsettled, change, approaching and inevitable. Darren felt it immediately, not just the coming storm, but the way the land itself seemed to recoil beneath him. The mountain no longer felt neutral. Something had been awakened, and it did not like being watched. Move, he rumbled, voice deep as he shifted back into human form, already pulling on the clothes Michelle had brought. His eyes never left the tree line. We can't stay exposed. Trey nodded sharply, tension radiating from him as he scanned the shadows. He knew this feeling too well. They track through disruption, he said. Power spikes, shifts, bonds snapping into place. His gaze flicked to Michelle, guilt flashing through the violet of his eyes. Which means me finding you just lit a signal fire. Michelle swallowed. Her temple pulsed again, stronger this time. Not pain exactly. Pressure. Like something inside her was pushing outward, no longer content to stay contained. Then we don't let them come for us, she said, surprised at how steady her voice sounded. We move before they close the net. Darren turned fully toward her. Not alpha, not protector, just mate, measuring, listening. Then he nodded once. There's an old access tunnel beneath the ridge, he said. Collapsed on most maps. If they're coming from the low ground, it'll buy us time. A low roll of thunder echoed far off, deep and slow, as the first raindrops struck the stone at Michelle's feet. Dark, precise, undeniable. The storm had found them. Michelle felt it before she understood it. The air didn't just shift, it recognized her. A shiver tore through her, sharp and electric, starting at the birthmark beneath her skin and spreading outward like veins of light. Her pulse stuttered. The world tilted, not with dizziness, but with sudden depth, as if unseen layers were peeling back all at once. Beside her, Trey gasped. She turned just as he doubled over, clutching his chest, eyes flaring violently violet. You feel that? She said. It wasn't a question. It was realization snapping into place. He looked up at her, awe cutting through the fear. It's you, he breathed. You're awake. The space between them vibrated. Michelle took an unsteady step closer, and the mountain answered. Stone thrummed beneath her boots. The wind curved, not randomly, but deliberately, circling them, tightening inward as if drawn toward a single point. Rain began to fall in slow, heavy drops, hissing as it struck snow and rock alike. Darren went still, not in alarm, but in recognition. Her scent had changed. No longer was the scent of an omega clinging to her. No, this scent represented power. Power rolled off Michelle now, raw and untrained, but unmistakable. Not alpha, not wolf. Something older. Something that did not need permission. Michelle, Darren said carefully, grounding his voice as his wolf stirred beneath his skin. Look at me. She tried, but the pull was stronger. Every step she took toward Trey felt inevitable, like gravity finally remembering its purpose. Her birthmark burned, no longer a warning, but a key. When she was close enough to touch him, the air snapped, light flared, not blinding, clarifying. The ache that had haunted her for weeks vanished in an instant, replaced by alignment so sharp it stole her breath. She could feel him now, not just his presence, but his strength, his wounds, his fear, all threaded tightly with hers. Two pulses, one rhythm. Gemini. Trey let out a broken laugh, tears streaking down his face. I thought I was broken, he said, like half of me was missing. His hand hovered inches from hers, afraid to make contact. It was you. It was always you. When their fingers finally touched, the storm roared. Thunder cracked directly overhead, close enough to rattle bone. Rain slammed down in sheets as the wind surged outward, flattening snow and bending trees in a wide, violent arc around them. Darren moved instantly, stepping in and wrapping his arms around Michelle from behind, not to restrain her, but to anchor her. His wolf surged forward, lending her strength without trying to claim it. Easy, he murmured against her ear. Breathe. Don't fight it. Let it settle. She did, and the power listened. The surge didn't vanish, but it focused. The storm tightened its radius. The ground stilled. The rain softened, falling straight instead of sideways, as if awaiting her next command. Michelle opened her eyes. The world looked different now. Brighter in some places, fractured in others. She could see the threads, faint, luminous lines connecting her to Trey, to Darren, to the land beneath them, to the shadows beyond the trees that watched and waited. They're closer than before, she said quietly. Darren's jaw tightened. How do you know? She didn't look away from the darkness. Because they can feel me now. Trey swallowed. That's never happened. Michelle flexed her fingers, calm settling into her bones with terrifying clarity. That's because I was asleep. Thunder rolled again, lower this time. The storm hadn't passed. It had chosen its center. The truth of it settled into the world like a law being remembered. Gemini had never been merely about twins. Long before packs, before alphas and borders, before even the first names were carved into memory, the moon goddess had chosen vessels. Not one, never one. Balance required reflection. Power required division and unity in equal measure. Two souls, one purpose. The Gemini were her hands in the mortal world. Darren felt the shift before thought. Darren felt the shift before thought could catch it. His wolf bowed, not in submission born of fear, but in instinct older than hierarchy. The urge to kneel burned through him, fierce and undeniable. Every wolf within miles felt it too, a sudden tightening in the chest, a pull towards something vast and commanding. Not an alpha, a sovereign. Michelle stood at the center of it, rain sliding harmlessly down her skin, the storm bending unconsciously to her presence. The threads she saw were no longer just connections, they were lines of authority. Every werewolf bound by the moon answered them, whether they knew it or not. Trey felt it from the inside. The fracture he'd lived with all his life sealed shut in a single, breathtaking instant. Strength flooded his limbs, endless, coiled, terrifying. His heartbeat slowed, deep and steady, syncing not just with Michelle's, but with the rhythm of the earth beneath them. He then, he knew then what he was, what they were. They won't age us, Trey said quietly, understanding blooming without being taught, not the way others do. Immortality wasn't invincibility, but it was endurance. Time would no longer claim them. Wounds would heal. Centuries would pass like seasons, guided by the moon's endless cycle. Michelle lifted her face to the rain. Dreams brushed her consciousness, fragmented, symbolic, layered with warning and guidance. Paths not yet walked. Leaders not yet crowned. Blood spilled and blood spared. The moon goddess did not speak in words. She never had. She guided through dreams, through instinct, through inevitability. They're meant to follow us, Michelle said softly, not boasting, not questioning, simply stating a truth as ancient as gravity, not because we force them, but because they'll know. Leadership rooted itself in her bones, not dominance, but gravity. the kind that made others want to stand straighter, to listen, to belong. Nature answered too. The wind eased, the rain softened, snow melted where her bare hands brushed the ground, steam curling upward like a blessing. Trees groaned quietly, bending without breaking, acknowledging a power that did not demand but commanded. Darren stepped closer, reverent now. The elders weren't afraid of you, he said. They were afraid of losing control. Michelle met his gaze, violet light, steady and unflinching. They already have. The answer came faster than thunder. A snarl ripped through the tree line, raw, feral, unrestrained. The rogue burst from the shadows like a wound tearing open the forest. Snow exploded beneath his paws as he launched himself onto the ridge, half shifted and wild, eyes blazing and unnatural. Foam flecked his lips as he skidded to a stop, claws carving deep grooves into the stone. No! He screamed, voice fracturing into something barely recognizable as human. No, you shall not come to power. I was promised that power. The sound punched straight through Michelle's chest. The rogue's gaze locked onto her. Not Darren, not Trey, but Michelle. Recognition struck him like terror made flesh. He staggered, clutching his head as if something inside him were being ripped apart. It won't be me who is to bow, the wolf roared, stumbling forward. You don't get to take what is owed to me. He lunged. Darren moved instantly, wolf surging to the surface, but he never reached them. Michelle didn't think. She felt. The panic, the pain, the violent tearing of a soul failing under its own power. Her mouth opened on instinct, the word ripping free before she understood it was a command. Stop! The world obeyed. The rogue slammed into an invisible wall and froze mid-stride, muscles locked, breath ripping from his lungs in ragged gasps. His scream cut off into a broken animal sob as his eyes flared brighter, blue burning against Michelle's steady violet glow. No, please, he choked. It hurts. I can't. Michelle's heart twisted. She hadn't meant to do this, hadn't wanted to. Her hand lifted, palm open, not in dominance, but reflex. Easy, she whispered. The command shifted, not vanished, but focused. The rogue collapsed to his knees, claws retracting as the fight drained from his body. He pressed his forehead to the stone, shoulders shaking, eyes still glowing faintly as tears cut paths through the dirt on his face. The mountain exhaled. Darren stared, breath caught somewhere between awe and unease. His wolf did not bristle. It bowed. You didn't dominate him, Trey said quietly, reverence threading his voice. You aligned him. Michelle lowered her trembling hand. I didn't mean to command anyone. I know, Darren said softly. That was what terrified him. The rogue lifted his head slowly, eyes dimming towards something mortal. He looked at Michelle the way wolves once looked at the moon itself. Not in worship, in recognition. You're real, he rasped. I felt you pull me back from tearing myself apart, from destroying you. They sent me. They got into my head and made me attack. Michelle swallowed. I didn't pull. I steadied. The wolf bowed his head again, this time willingly. Thank you. My mind is now free from them. I can't hear their voices in my head anymore. The first command had been spoken. Beyond the ridge, far from sight but not from sense, something recoiled. Hunters who had stalked shadows all their lives felt the shift and knew, too late, that the moon had moved her pieces. The Gemini were no longer hidden. They were crowned, and the world would answer.
Dun dun dun.
I do have to say that's honestly one of my favorite versions of immortality, where they just stop aging. Like they can still be killed. They're not impenetrable. They're not infallible. They just age doesn't touch them anymore. I love that line though. He looked at her the way wolves used to look at the moon. Oh my god, I love that line.
Izzy has her finger up. She just turned the mic off.
Look at her. 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 Look at her.
She's shaking the house.
I love it. I love it.
Well, my whole thing is the way I wrote this is yes, Michelle is the Gemini and Trey is her brother, and they're the Gemini twins, equal for power. But Darren is Michelle's mate, and you see, he doesn't try to take that power from her and claim it as his own.
Well, no, we already saw that. He as soon as he realized that she was his mate, he's just been all about making sure that she's cared for, protected. Nobody's gonna fuck with her. It's her choice. It's her whatever, and whatever she wants, she will get. It's literally reminding me of the truth behind subculture. Sub has the power. Now, obviously, it's a little bit different because actually she is technically the power, but like, that's how he's treating it. Yeah, he's the alpha, he's the big boss man, but she says no. And no is a complete sentence to him. And again, this is the fucking story that said, I didn't have a gay man gets me all hot and bothered on my bingo card this year. Oh my freaking god.
Oh, God, my back.
Yes,
Ooh.
me. And I'm going to forewarn y'all. I pulled a Trisha. And y'all can yell at me later.
Like it's short?
Yep.
Interesting.
The wind carried the smell of rain long before the first drop fell. Beneath it lingered charcoal smoke and grilled meat, heavy and sweet in the air. Above, fireworks burst in brilliant colors, drawing delighted gasps from the crowd. Maggie flinched against the boom rattling in her chest. The sharp bite of gunpowder hit a heartbeat later, acrid and cutting through the smell of oncoming rain. Nowhere else you'd rather be, right? Someone said nearby, laughing. Maggie pictured her safe, isolated cabin in the woods. Another dull whoosh. Another burst overhead. The sound didn't fade. It pressed inward. Maggie's chest locked, breath stalling halfway in as the noise folded around her. Light fractured across her vision, white and color bleeding together at the edges. The world narrowed to the brutal thud of her own heartbeat. Darkness crept in from the edges of her vision, thick and heavy. She tried to breathe. Nothing moved. Shallow breaths brought burning air through her throat, smoke tinged with a sour, biting tang she couldn't place. Her fingers tingled, then went numb. A crawling electric wrongness spread beneath her skin. Maggie's hand closed hard around the edge of the picnic table next to her. She took a step back, then another, her body curling in on itself. A shadow fell between her and the fire in the sky. A firm hand settled lightly on her shoulder. Maggie's muscles tensed reflexively. She hissed, trying to draw a full breath, the pressure of the hand bringing her gaze upward. Sven. It's Sven, not the demon. His warmth was steady, grounding, a reminder she wasn't alone or in danger. The world slowed its spin. Hey, he said quietly, voice low and steady, carrying over the distant crowd but not loud enough to draw attention. It's okay. Focus on me. He moved closer, his bulk blocking the bracing wind and its noise. The words sliced through the noise in her head, a lifeline pulling her from the muck. Her vision wavered, then blinked, edges softening. The prickling in her fingers and the numbness in her skin didn't vanish, but they receded enough for her to inhale shallowly, consciously, for the first time since the first firework exploded. Sven didn't push. He didn't ask questions. He simply stood, a steady presence between her and everything else.
Yeah, because he's the best.
Like I said, short and sweet.
Get more Sven, and it's one of your shortest ones yet. You.
He barely talked. What was up with that?
I ran out of whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what? I did one 2 weeks ago.
I know. That's why I'm holding my tongue.
Oh no, I totally get that. Like I know where it's gonna go, but I think my biggest problem this week was like I was forcing it because I jumped in the scene.
Hmm.
And so I wasn't naturally brought to that place with Maggie through what was happening. And so I felt like I was forcing it, and that's no bueno, right? So it was just like, and Christmas has, fraught with whatever and got me all messed up. But
I'm
yeah,
genuinely,
no,
I'm genuinely surprised any of y'all got any writing done this week.
it's kind of what keeps most of us sane.
I mean, I got a ton of writing done, but I don't celebrate Christmas, so it was just another week for me.
Oh, and last Saturday was Yule. So
Well, I know a fair amount of you on here have kids, so
I just
that's
do
got you
most
busy
of
enough. If you toss Christmas into the mix, and woof, surprised you get anything done.
most of my writing while I'm on my break at work or after my kid goes to bed.
yeah.
Okay, under the rules, technically we don't have to read mine.
What rules that said coming from?
What rules?
I was a late submitter. And like as in late as in I just got it in while the show was
Missed your
going on. So
deadline.
technically we
Yeah.
don't have to read mine.
You mean the rule that we very, very rarely enforce?
But will be enforced as of next year. So I mean like if we want to
Sure.
penalize it now.
Sure.
Which the way Julie is behaving, this tells me that she does not want hers to be read because she's afraid that people are going to yell at her.
I vote we read it.
Yell at me.
And like normally I would say, I was like, oh, we could just save it tomorrow, but it's the last one. There's not enough to have a show tomorrow.
Yeah.
I vote we read it.
I vote
we're
we do
all
as well.
reading it.
I vote.
We're
I
obviously
vote,
reading
I
it.
vote we
That's
read
not
it.
a question. That was never a question. I'm just saying like that's the mentality going on here.
Nope, don't do that yet. Um, so real quick, nobody's been redeeming hydrate or dihydrate. However, Izzy is empty. So we're gonna do a real quick because let me pop over here. I'm gonna check something. Holy shit, bitch! 3,032 words. Yeah,
That's
I
what I said.
definitely need some.
That's why I said we don't have to.
So we're gonna get some hydration
Since it was
here.
time I could
Bio
do a
break.
long one.
Bio break. Everyone get up and walk around. Everyone get a drink. Everyone get snacks.
Bio break.
There you go. Trisha just hit the dehydrated hydrate.
Leon, there's only 3.
What? Why are you meowing at me? What do you want? You're not going outside.
doing
It's negative
dishes.
27 out. It's not happening. No.
Well, I will say that this has been an amazing year, and I am so happy that we get to come here every Saturday and do this thing. And yes, there are times that I'm like, hey, you know what? We need to follow the rules tonight. And I'm always good about, it's like, you know what? Fair is fair. We need to follow the rules.
Who'd have thought that the U.S. trying to cancel TikTok would end up being one of the best things that could happen to us?
Oh, yeah. It's like it is what it is, and it will be what it will be. And if anything, we always planned on branching out. We always did. I mean, at that particular point, before that had all gone down, we were already in the process of getting the YouTube going and everything like that. TikTok doing what TikTok did, just literally
Pushed
put a
us.
boot in our ass to get us
Yeah.
like, nope, it's time to shit or get off the pot.
Salem, you
And
can
here we
scratch
are.
that door all you want. You're not going outside. It is almost negative 30, and I'm not chasing your ass back in here.
Things I had to remind my child when it was like 27 degrees the other day. No, we cannot go outside and play. It's fucking cold.
Yeah.
You don't own snow boots, you own sneakers. Why? Because we live in Tennessee and there's no reason for fucking snow boots.
No.
That and trying to find snow boots that are pull-ons for a kid with size 5 feet is damn near impossible here.
Here we go. Got it.
Yay.
So how's everyone enjoying the show tonight so far?
Excuse me, sorry. Yeah, how is everybody enjoying the show? How's everybody, down here doing the thingies?
The last show.
We had a lot, and I mean a lot of chatter tonight. I haven't seen one time for somebody to, or a commercial to come across, or so we're obviously keeping the
I
chattering.
think everyone has a sub right now.
Oh, well, it'll still tell you at the top when.
Yeah.
I don't believe I've seen it all night, but that doesn't mean that it hasn't happened.
Yeah, I've seen it pop up a few times. Good. Yes, Gesundheit to whoever sneezed.
Thank you. It was me.
Okay.
That's another reason I'm kind of. It's not like I'm zoning out or anything. I'm literally just a little bit out of it. Unfortunately, everybody knows the kiddo's been sick since the beginning of winter break, and I've been dealing with that.
Yeah.
So we're kind of hoping that mommy doesn't end up with it back. I've preemptively took medicine, but I've also got a bad sinus thing, and my sinuses, with all the pressure, just makes me want to sleep. Uh,
Thank you, Luna.
Luna, we're so happy to have you, sweetheart. I mean, we are a very quirky kind of group.
That's a good word. That's a good word
That's
for it.
quirky. Quirky's a good word. We're quirky. We are also the type of people that will give you the shirt off our backs. We've been known to, it's like, oh, you need an extra set of eyes on that. Hold on a second. Who's got what? Who's got the time? And we get an extra set of eyes on it. We've also been known to just,
Oh.
ooh, okay, cool. Hopefully you got a picture of it.
Are
Did
owls
it? Hey,
not common?
that you can hear them, but seeing them not as common.
Okay.
We have
a resident owl here who's constantly harassing us.
I've got 2 barn owls, one that sits on the side of the house and one that sits behind the house, and that's their territories. But if they cross branches, there is usually a fight in the side yard.
Oof, that's rough.
No, it's funny because you go out there and you're like, who started it?
Yeah.
And then all I gotta do is pop the broom on the concrete, and they'll separate like children and fly away.
I
And
love barn owls.
The next time you come, you better have my Hogwarts letter.
Barn owls are definitely my favorite breed of owl. 100%.
The one is like super, super pretty. He's a dark brown with like really white feathers. And then the other one, he's slightly smaller and he's more gray than brown. So I don't know if he's older or if that's just his coloring.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure, I don't know owl breeds well enough to identify the one we've got because he doesn't like to come in the yard. He just likes to hang out in the trees and mock us and leave dead mice in the yard. But I'm pretty sure it's a screech owl.
Is that a high pitch?
No, it's actually kind of mid range, but he's got that like mottled gray and brown color to him.
Okay. He might be a juvenile.
Yeah. He's only been around for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Well, we've only seen him and heard him for a couple of years, I should say. Fuck knows how long he's actually been here. But... should look up what owls are in New Brunswick. It might help.
Might.
Not in the fucking city. Not in the fucking city.
What did it sound like?
It was very low.
Like who?
It's definitely not a great horned owl. I wish it was. Great horned owls are awesome.
It was very low, very like I was startled. I thought it was the kids next door because of course they have 8. Making some kind of noise, but then it did it again, and then I went closer to try and figure out, and then it flew off. And it was only about yay big.
Letter?
No, it didn't have my Hogwarts letter. I wouldn't go to Hogwarts if it paid me to.
Thank you.
I mean, I would, but that's just to take pictures.
But oh my god. Like, literally, even having grown up on the farm, we did not have a plethora of owls in the vicinity.
Well, you have a lot of
we had a lot of cats, yes. 84 one summer alone. But holy shit. I feel very I don't know.
Okay. According to this list, it's probably a barred owl that we have hanging out here.
Okay. Yeah, because Screech's got a freaking unique ass sound, and
Yeah, hence the
it
name.
will scare the hell out of you if you do not know it's coming.
See, he looks like that.
So he's broody.
Yeah, but well, it's actually more like this. But like he's darker. There's more gray than white.
Yeah.
I don't know if that means he's a baby or if he's an adult or what, but that's essentially the owl that we've got leaving us presents in the yard here and constantly hooting in the middle of the night and antagonizing the dogs while I try to take them on their midnight run so we can go to bed. But they hear the owl, so they gotta check it out.
For some owls, it's presence to lure their prey out, and for some owls, it's like, hey, I just appreciate you not shooing me out of your tree.
Yeah, and then there's this asshole who's like, "Hi, come get me."
Oh, my Lanta. Okay. And we're at the last one. Huh? About what? Okay. Julie, last submission of our second season, eked it out. You were the first of our first season, your first season, because I didn't join till later, and last of the second season, because of course. Wait, is this the prologue? I thought.
272.
Oh no, that no. She puts the top up at the top. I thought you'd already done. Okay. Any hoozle. Okay. Clicky clacky.
Sorry.
It's okay. By blood, marriage, or destruction. Blood makes you family. Loyalty makes you lethal, was a phrase that Club Princess heard from the time she was a toddler. The first law she ever learned, not from a book, but from the roar of engines and the clink of bottles on the bar. Every wall, every patch, every man who wore it carried that creed like armor. But for her, those words didn't feel like protection. They felt like prophecy, because loyalty could build empires, and it could destroy them too. Riot crews grew up in the shadow of the Iron Vulture's kingdom, all leather, chrome, and thunder. She learned to ride before she learned to drive, learned how to stand her ground before she learned how to stay quiet. King Cruz's daughter, the Golden Girl, the reminder that even monsters could make something beautiful. But beauty doesn't last long in a world built on blood and debt. By the time she hit 20, Riot had already buried one love and patched herself together with duct tape and defiance. So when Grace and Wolf came around, all smooth charm and clean-cut rebellion, she let herself believe maybe this was her second chance. He talked about peace between the clubs, about rebuilding, about something more than the life she was born into. He made her laugh again. He made her forget, for a little while, that every promise came with a price. So when the call came that the Saints were throwing a party for her birthday, she didn't think twice. Just another night at the clubhouse, another reason to ride. Grayson said he'd meet her there, said he had a surprise waiting. And maybe that should have been the warning, because surprises don't end well in a world like theirs. The wind carried the smell of rain long before the first drop touched the ground. The Chevelle's headlights cut through the Tennessee dark like a blade, twin beams slicing the gravel lot outside the Iron Vulture's clubhouse. Riot downshifted, letting the rumble of the rebuilt 454 echo against the walls she'd grown up under. The air smelled like smoke, oil and whiskey, the perfume of home. The bonfires were already burning high, shadows of patched men and their old ladies swaying in the orange light. She could hear the laughter before she killed the engine. Loud, familiar, false. She took a breath, unbuckled, and stepped out. Heads turned the moment her boots hit the dirt. A few respectful nods, a few appreciative stares, but no one dared say a word. King's girls still carried weight, even if most of them whispered that she'd gone soft since Tank's death. Bear was waiting by the door, a mountain of a man half buried in the glow of the fire pit. His arms were crossed, face unreadable beneath the worn brim of his hat. "Didn't think you'd actually show," he said, voice rough as gravel. Riot smirked faintly, brushing her hair back from her face. "It's my birthday. Not showing up would start a war. Maybe it needs one." She gave him a look that said, "Not tonight." "Grayson in there?" she asked. Bear's jaw flexed, the faintest twitch of disapproval. "Been here since sundown. Playing it up real friendly with your old man. Says he's got something special lined up for you." "Great," she muttered, rolling her eyes, because nothing screams romance like a crowd full of drunks and felons. Bear's lips curved in something that wasn't quite a smile. "You know how to make an entrance, princess. Just keep your eyes open." She hesitated, just a flicker, then squared her shoulders and started toward the clubhouse. The doors swung open before she even touched them. A wave of heat and noise crashed into her. Laughter, clinking bottles, the bass of the speakers shaking the walls. She stepped inside, the familiar chaos swallowing her whole. The moment she crossed the threshold, everything went quiet, just for a heartbeat, long enough for every head to turn, long enough for her to realize this wasn't just a party. And somewhere near the bar, framed in cigarette smoke and neon, Grayson Wolfe raised his glass to her with that perfect, practiced grin. The moment she stepped into the clubhouse, everything went quiet. Not completely. The music still thumped low from the jukebox, the pool cues still cracked, and someone was laughing too loud near the back. But it was the kind of silence that rippled under the noise. The kind where everyone pretends not to be watching, but every damn eye follows you anyway. Riot forced her shoulders back and kept moving, boots echoing across the stained concrete. The walls were lined with the usual chaos: photos of runs, patches from fallen brothers, neon signs that had been flickering since before she was born. But tonight, it felt staged, like the party had teeth. She spotted Grayson at the bar before he saw her. Leaning against the counter, whiskey in hand, that wolfish grin already in place. The bastard looked perfect. Pressed jeans cut sharp, hair slicked just enough to look dangerous. He turned, caught sight of her, and for a second the whole act cracked just enough for her to see something hungry flash behind his eyes. Then the mask slid back on. "Didn't think you were gonna show," he drawled as she approached, voice low, lazy confidence wrapped around every word. Riot tilted her head, smirked sharp enough to cut. "You said there'd be whiskey. You delivered." He chuckled, brushing his thumb along the edge of her jaw, just long enough for the gesture to read intimate, possessive, before he pulled her in closer. "You look good, baby. Hell, you look better than good." "Save the sweet talk for someone who buys it," she muttered, but her pulse betrayed her, skipping when his breath brushed her ear. The bartender slid her a drink without a word. She didn't even have to ask. They all knew her poison. Jack. Neat. Grayson clinked his glass against hers. "To you," he said, eyes locked on hers. "To us." She frowned, but drank anyway. The burn steadied her. "You're not a very convincing liar." He just grinned wider, and before she could press, her father's voice boomed from across the room. "Ah, there she is! My girl, 21 and all grown up." The crowd turned. The music dipped. Riot's stomach dropped. King Cruz stood at the head of the long table, cigar in one hand, bottle of Jack in the other, And next to him, Grayson's old man, the Chrome Saints president, wearing that same self satisfied smirk she'd seen in every photo from every failed truce before this one. Come on up here, sweetheart, King called, waving her closer. Grayson's hand found the small of her back, guiding her forward before she could even think to resist. The applause started before she reached the table. Something cold twisted in her gut. She never liked surprises. But this one was different. The crowd packed tighter as she reached the front. Riot's throat felt dry, but she still managed to smirk for the sake of optics. You don't flinch in front of predators, not even the ones that share your blood. King clapped a heavy hand on her shoulder, grinning wide for the room. Tonight ain't just about my little girl's birthday, he said, voice carrying through the smoke-filled air. It's about the future of both our families, the Iron Vultures and the Chrome Saints. 2 empires, 1 legacy. Riot's jaw twitched. What the hell is he doing? King lifted his glass. And no better way to seal peace than the same way our fathers did, with blood, loyalty, and marriage. The room roared. Bottles clinked. Someone whistled. Riot froze. Wait, what? She muttered under her breath, the word lost under the cheers. When she turned, Grayson was already stepping forward, his grin too smooth, too polished. He dropped to one knee like a showman, pulling a small black box from his pocket. Surprise, baby, he said, loud enough for the crowd to hear, milking every second of it. Been 7 months with you by my side, and I figure there ain't a better time to make it official. Laughter, shouts, the pounding of boots against the floor. Riot felt like the air had been punched out of her. Her father's voice boomed again, proud and final. By blood, by marriage, by the patch, we're united. Grayson flipped open the box. A diamond glinted in the dim light. Obnoxious, perfect, cold. Every eye in the room turned to her. She didn't move, didn't breathe. Her heart was a hammer in her chest, her mind an avalanche of no, no, no. He reached for her hand. Come on, sweetheart. Say yes. Make history. Her lips parted, but nothing came out. Somewhere deep inside, something cracked. The soundless snap of a leash being cut. Riot pulled her hand back slowly, expression unreadable. You're not a very convincing liar, she said quietly. A few laughs rippled through the crowd, assuming it was banter. But Bear, leaning against the wall near the jukebox, saw it, the storm rolling in behind her eyes. She smiled then, small, sharp, terrifying. It's not like you can stop me. King laughed like she'd made a joke. That's my girl. Always has to get the last word. Riot lifted her glass, swallowed the burn, and set it down hard enough to make the table rattle. Then she turned and melted into the crowd before anyone could stop her. Riot slipped away from the center of the room, pulse still jackhammering in her ears. The cheers and laughter dulled behind her, a thick wall of noise she couldn't quite break through. The club lights blurred, spinning with the haze of whiskey and cigarette smoke. She found Bear near the edge of the bar, same place he always posted up when things got too loud. His arms were crossed. Expression carved from stone, watching her like she was a lit fuse looking for a match. You okay, kid? He asked, voice low enough that only she could hear. I didn't want you involved, but it's too late. You're already here, now there's no going back. Riot barked out a humorless laugh. Bear studied her face. You didn't know. Would you tell your daughter she was being auctioned off in the name of peace? She shot back, her tone sharp, brittle around the edges. He didn't flinch, just took a slow drag off his cigarette and exhaled. King thinks he's protecting you. Thinks keeping you tied to Wolf's boy means the vultures stay safe. Yeah, she snorted. Funny definition of safe. Pretty sure the chains are just made of diamonds now. Bear tilted his head. You gonna make a scene? Riot met his eyes steady. Not yet. I'm trying real hard not to burn this place to the ground before I finish my drink. A faint grin tugged at the corner of Bear's mouth. Atta girl. Don't give 'em the show they want. I'd rather ride alone than be chained by lies. she muttered, more to herself than him. Bear reached out, brushing a thumb over the scar on her knuckles, the one Tank used to joke was her lucky charm. He'd be proud, you know. Riot's jaw clenched. Don't. Not tonight. Bear nodded, eyes softening just a fraction. All right, kid. But whatever you're about to do, make sure it's worth it. She gave him a half smile, the kind that didn't touch her eyes. If I'm lucky, it'll be legendary. Then she turned, weaving through the crowd, the noise fading behind her. Somewhere above, a floorboard creaked, a sound swallowed by laughter and music, but not by her instincts. Riot's head lifted. She never liked surprises, but this one was different. And when she reached the top of those stairs, she already knew. Something was about to end. The music below was still thumping, muffled through the old floorboards. Riot followed the sound she shouldn't have heard. Laughter. A moan. The thud of something hitting the wall. It twisted in her gut like a blade. Each step she took up the narrow stairwell felt heavier. She knew that laugh. That low, cocky rhythm of his voice. Grayson Wolf. She stopped at the top landing, hand resting on the cracked doorframe of one of the spare rooms. A sliver of light spilled out into the hall. Her pulse pounded in her ears. She didn't want to look. She already knew. Still, she pushed the door open. And there he was, Grayson. Half naked, breathless, grinning that same smug grin he'd given her downstairs an hour ago. The same mouth, whispering promises now pressed against the throat of a club bunny with streaks of pink in her hair and lipstick smeared halfway to her ear. Riot stood frozen for a full heartbeat, the room thick with the scent of sweat, smoke, and betrayal. Then she moved. Don't stop on my account, she said, voice razor sharp and deceptively calm. Grayson's head snapped up, eyes wide for a fraction of a second before that lazy arrogance slithered back across his face. Baby, you're early, the girl squeaked, scrambling to cover herself with a bedsheet. Riot didn't even look at her. She grabbed the patch bunny by the arm and yanked her upright, ignoring the protest. Then she fisted Grayson's shirt in her other hand and dragged them, both of them, toward the door. He stumbled, laughing under his breath. Come on, Riot, don't make a scene. Not making one, she said, hauling them both down the hallway. Just finishing it. The party hit pause the second she burst back into the main room, boots heavy against the stairs, jaw set like a blade. Conversations cut mid-sentence. Music still pulsed, but quieter now, like even the speakers knew better. Every eye turned toward her. Riot shoved Grayson forward. He hit the floor, half-dressed and choking on his own pride. The patch bunny followed, tripping over the sheet she'd wrapped herself in. Silence. The chrome saints froze. The iron vultures followed suit. Riot's chest heaved, but her voice came out steady. Happy birthday to me. King stood, face darkening, cigar forgotten in his fist. Sabrina. No. She yanked off her cut, the one her father gave her before she'd earned it, the one that had always felt too heavy. She folded it once, twice, laid it on the bar. You can keep the peace treaty. You can keep your alliances, but you don't get to keep me. Grayson pushed himself up on one elbow, smirking even now. You're not a very convincing liar, baby. Riot leaned in, her eyes cold. It's not like you can stop me. Then she turned, walked toward the door without looking back. Bear's voice followed her, low but clear over the stunned silence. She didn't burn the bridge, King. She became the fire. The night air hit her like a slap, cold, clean, and cruel after the heat of the clubhouse. Riot didn't slow down, not when the yelling started behind her, not when she heard King's voice booming her name like it could still command her. The bonfires outside snapped and hissed, sparks scattering into the dark as she pushed through the crowd that had spilled from the doors. People stepped aside instinctively, some out of respect, some out of fear. Her boots crunched over gravel until she reached the bike lined up near the edge of the lot. Reckoner. Matte black, all bite and thunder. Tank had helped her rebuild it 2 summers ago. Every bolt, every scar on the chrome a memory. Riot paused, hand resting on the handlebars. For a moment, the noise behind her dimmed, just wind, fire, and the low hum of her pulse. She swung a leg over the seat, leather creaking. Bear appeared in the doorway behind her, his silhouette framed by fire and chaos. Their eyes met across the distance. No words. Just the smallest nod. Permission. Goodbye. Both. She kicked the bike to life. The Chevelle growl. The bike's growl tore through the
Yeah, the
night.
background. It's like Miss
You
Barrett.
originally, yeah. You originally had it, the Chevelle, and it's not. The bike's growl tore through the night, drowning out whatever her father shouted next. As she revved the throttle, a few brave souls flinched back. Others just watched, silent witnesses to the kind of moment clubs don't forgive or forget. Riot looked once over her shoulder, back at the only home she'd ever known. Now nothing but noise and ghosts, and smirked. I'd rather ride alone, she muttered, voice lost to the engine, than be chained by lies. Then she twisted the throttle, and Reckoner roared like it understood. Gravel sprayed. Firelight flickered across chrome. And Sabrina, Riot Cruz, rode into the dark. No cut on her shoulders, no man at her back, no crown to wear. Just the storm she'd become. Bear leaned against the post by the clubhouse steps, arms crossed, watching Riot's tail light fade into the darkening road. The rumble of her bike still thrummed under the quiet of the lot. King's fists were tight at his sides, his eyes narrowed, a storm coiling in his chest. She just walked out on me, he spat, voice low and dangerous. On the family, on the club, on everything we've built. That little... Bear stepped closer, calm but firm. King, think. She saw what was happening in there. She did what she had to. King turned, glare sharp as knives. What she had to? That son of a bitch, Grayson. He thinks he can play with her life, with our word, with me, and she just leaves? Do you have any idea what that means? Bear's hands stayed visible, steady. I do. And I also know she's stronger than any plan either of you had in mind. Don't let your fury blind you to that. Let her ride. Let her think. She's not gone forever. King's jaw worked, teeth grinding, but he didn't speak. The lot was silent except for the faint whisper of wind through trees. Bear finally nodded toward the road. Storm's coming, King, but so is she. Don't forget that.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun dun dun. I was trying to redeem a dun dun dun, and it said the max has been used for this stream.
Yep. Oh, there. Let me do it.
Yeah.
I don't even.
This is what I have to put up with all night because he doesn't fucking go to bed until 3, 4 o'clock in the fucking morning. Him rolling around in that fucking chair while
Is
I'm
that
trying to
what that
sleep.
is? I
Yeah.
thought that was the upgrade.
No, that's my son fucking rolling his fat fucking ass across the room in his goddamn fucking chair. And no, he's not. Constant. And when he walks back and forth using his VR, the whole thing. And I'm sitting here going, I gotta be to work at 9:30 in the fucking morning, dude.
Yeah.
What do I put his ass in the basement?
No, because there's mold in the basement. Any hoozle.
That's why I'm glad no one's bedroom is over my bedroom.
Luna Bear.
Yep.
Now there were some floating things in there, but I recognized some things from your original that made it. So like, you know, you were piecing it together and making it better. So now you just have to go back through and you know, one moment he's shirtless and the next she's grabbing him by the shirt. Just it's fine. You'll fix it in post.
First draft.
But
First draft.
yeah, exactly. But damn.
And I
And
got
I
rid of the balls deep and a patch bunny. I got rid of that for you.
yeah, well. The other thing is that I'm not sure if it was intended, but the repeated dialogue, like,
Oh,
but if done right, you could leave it in because in the first play, you know, the first time it's used. Prime example: the first episode of Supernatural to the last episode of Supernatural.
God, the disconnect.
The fact that they said the exact same dialogue, except in the last episode, the brothers swapped it.
Yes.
So it's the exact same dialogue, but it was swapped and it had a different meaning. So you could do that. In this scene, it could very much do that.
right. But this was, I figured we never actually got to hear the prologue, and the original prologue that we actually put out is not the prologue anymore. It's actually chapter 1. So,
You're right.
so
Right.
this
Exactly, Bitzer. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Julie's got the exact same dialogue earlier in the prologue and later. And if it's used as callback, it would be super fucking powerful.
Yay, literary devices!
Woo!
30 days in September, April, June, and November. Okay, so June has 30 days in it.
Leon. You're going to stop right there. Because we ain't going to get into a supernatural debate.
no, no.
Because it's not a debate. There's a very clear-cut answer, but we're not getting into it.
And as someone who watched 15 seasons in 57 days,
We literally had to send out freaking messages like, Izzy, we need proof of life.
At least you got to watch all in one go. I was watching it as it came out.
yes, I feel like as I was binge watching this, I was like, dude, that's where they left it? People got left there for 3 fucking months? Ooh, let's play the next episode.
Fair. Very fair.
Okay. So,
Blue.
no,
Oh, you're doing
I
that.
grabbed that one. I just use whatever.
Oh, you don't have like a specific one.
See, what I have to do is I have to write down the numbers that Julie calls out because by the time I find it in the list, I will have forgotten. And she's already picked up the dice and now may or may not remember what she actually rolled. So I write it
Right.
down, even though I'm pulling it from the list and doing the thing. So yeah, there is a method to my madness for my brain. And Char's figuring something out. Don't
Timeline.
get me wrong, Leon.
Timeline.
Crowley's
Timeline.
one of my favorite.
7 times 5 is 35, right?
7 times 5 is 35, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so it's been 5 weeks.
Oh, okay. All right, so don't forget as we are looking at these, that we have number one, the fact that you will be read out as an anonymous person. So please do not submit something from a story that you have already previously submitted. Feel free to do a different story every single week of January, but only if you have the spoons to do that. Okay? You are also limited to a 2,500 word cap. Okay? You hear that? 2,500 word cap.
Okay.
Okay.
That's 6
Julie?
digits, right?
Yes, I know. This was my last long one. So I had to make it count.
Patrick?
Patrick's actually been doing really good about.
Yes, absolutely has. Okay. And here we go.
Unfortunately, I was not able to retrieve my die from underneath my desk because it's behind something. So I do have a generator or a randomizer up here tonight. So.
I mean, there we go.
It works.
Oh, double P.
Patrick.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah, me too, Trisha. Me too. Oh, wow.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, let me move over here. No, use the right mouse, Izzy. Jesus. Okay, moving over to maybe. Oh, Jesus Christ.
We can go back and look at these, right?
Hmm?
We'd be able to go back
Oh,
and look
yeah,
at these.
yeah, yeah. Absolutely.
I just broke 100K words.
Holy simoleons. All right. What's the first Saturday of the year? January 3rd?
Yes.
I got 4 more chapters to go, and then my first draft is done.
And I already got the
Fruitiest.
whole.
I hate writing first drafts. It's my least favorite part. I can't stand it. I need to have the pieces. Once I have all the pieces, that's when the fun part starts.
Okay. Pen. Yeah, 100K. I haven't even written 100K words yet since I've started tracking.
Well,
But-
all of the well, not all of the other two of the main books in the Mafia romantic comedy are all 100K. So
there you go. All right. First up, concepts. What do we got there, boss lady?
99.
Oh, hot damn.
Yeah, it's going high.
A character learns that a favor they did years ago created a dangerous obligation.
ooh.
Okay.
All right, starting first line.
64.
Starting first line. I didn't want to follow them, but my feet had other plans.
Okay. 94.
I'm going to behave. I am going to behave. I am going to behave. I didn't expect it to work again.
Okay, tell me when you want me to start the poll. I got everything already filled out.
I do too. I
Oh.
already hit it. All right. There's the poll. There's the ones right in front of you.
Oh boy.
Everybody vote. Come on.
Vote, vote, vote. We love your enthusiasm, Luna.
I'm enjoying watching the poll move. This is fun.
Oh my
And then
God.
the track who voted and who didn't. Because everybody
Yeah,
only gets
I
one
like
vote.
that. That dialogue will work interesting with the theme I have in mind for the month.
Oh my goodness gracious me. Well, now don't go talking about how many you're going to be using because, that'll start like narrowing down who's doing what. Remember, this is all anonymous.
Yes.
And yes, Bitzer is correct. Man, at this point, we don't even have to do marketing for our show or telling new people what to do. Leon and Bitzer got us covered.
Right.
They handle the freaking chat and telling everybody what, newcomers.
So far, we've got 10 votes and 12 people in here. So who hasn't voted yet?
Sorry, I forgot to hit the vote button.
Thank you, Leon.
Thank you, Leon. God damn it, now I gotta thank him? Fuck!
That's 4 tonight. 4.
So we're missing one. Who didn't vote?
Might have been EJ if he's still lurking.
We got 13 now.
Yes,
Yes.
very enthusiastic helpers. We love that you have embraced our brand of crazy.
Yeah. We're eccentric in our own ways.
Yes. Ah, don't even no, take that back. Take that back.
Lord have mercy.
Once it's out there on the internet, you can't take it back.
CD, did
It's
you vote?
permanent. It's forever.
I want to say it's probably CD that didn't vote. CD, did you vote? I voted. Okay.
Methinks you might be right.
We're our own brand of eccentrics. Chameleons.
We have 11 out of 13 votes. Come on, folks.
I don't have a good metal voice. The hell you smoking?
Obviously, it's not the good stuff.
Oh God, no, I've done that before, and no, that tears me the fuck up. And I already got COPD. I don't need to be sitting there coughing. Y'all hear me all the time anyway, and that's just from cigarettes.
Right.
Now, I did decide here to make sure that the poll had 5 minutes because we had some latecomers that showed up last week. So I think that's where we last week I did 2 minutes, could have done 3 minutes. I went ahead with 5.
But we're coming down to the wire now, so anybody who needs to vote, vote now. Because it's over.
Oh. Up, there it goes. It's over. It's over. Our first prompt of the year for our anonymous fresh ink submissions is to use the dialogue. I didn't think it would work again. We can see where my brain took that. Now that we have our prompt, Miss Birthday Girl, what is your additional January birthday challenge?
I want your characters to fail. I want something important to the story to fail. And your characters have to deal with the fallout and the consequences. Because much like in D&D, rolling a 1's always way more interesting than rolling a 20.
I mean, that actually works quite well with the prompt.
Yeah.
I know. It's why I saw the prompt like, ooh, this is going to be interesting.
Holy
So-
shit. Now, real quick question, Shar. Do you intend to come up with something new every week? Or the failure is always the option for the entirety?
The failure is going to be the option to the whole month. And it can be one failure you build on in the story if you're doing one, or if you're doing short stories, it's a different failure every time. But something goes wrong. Something important fails. And your character's got to deal with it.
I can work with that based off what because I may have been building my concept for the last week and a half, 2 weeks. What I was going to submit anonymously and work everything in. So I can work with.
And I'm stressing important. You can't oh, I failed the midterms. No. Like you failed
something
the
important
SATs
to the
and
plot.
you're not getting into school kind of failure. You failed to hit the button to stop the doomsday device and the world blew up and you got to survive kind of failure.
Luna, I love that. I love that.
You know, they say it's important to write what you know.
I mean, there is that. Absolutely. I'm too intimate with failure. We're taking a break, seeing other concepts. That is too freaking cute.
I love Lou.
That was
She's
beautiful.
funny.
I love her.
You know what? That needs to be added to our line, our starting first lines, or our
I'm too
dialogue.
intimate with failure. We're taking a break.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right.
Something important to the story fails.
Failure is the only option.
Mm-hmm.
So the important
Critical.
bit, the interesting bit is to see how it fails
Mm-hmm.
and the
And how your characters deal with
consequences
it.
of that. Because if you know, like, wait, is this the thing that's gonna fail? Oh wait, is this the thing that's gonna fail? Oh shit, that failed that way. This will be interesting.
Failure to live a possibility. No. I want to see your characters dealing with the consequences. Failure to live is not an option. Someone else could fail to live, but the character you're writing about has to deal with it.
Failed to save the other person. Oh shit balls.
There you go.
All right, fantastic. So we have our first prompt of season 3, 2026. Same bat time, same bat channel next Sunday or Saturday, sorry. Make sure celebrating the new year, you are safe. I know Julie has her whole spiel and we say it all in fun, but we really do want y'all to be safe.
Yeah.
And protected, and you know, if you even think for 1 second that you are in a dangerous situation, I'm going to be here. I am probably going to be in Discord. We've actually had one of our members walking to the store late at night with it dark out and pulled up Discord and started talking to us because there was somebody following them. And started talking. Feel free to pull it up, pretend you're making a phone call and going, "Hey Eric, how are you doing?" Or, "Hey Matt, good to hear from you. Oh, you want to meet for tea? You want to meet for coffee?" We're going to know, right? And now
Yeah.
you've got a witness, at least one, right? So be safe out there with the partying and the out and about. I know most of us are introverts, but occasionally there's an extrovert like me. Sometimes. I mean, Char's an extrovert, but she's a hermited extrovert.
It's weird. I'm isolated, but I love people.
See? So, yes, definitely be safe, but you got your orders. You got your new prompt thing. We're going to be doing the anonymous thing. So, feel free to experiment. See, that's the great thing. Feel free to experiment and do something that you haven't done before.
Nathan's here.
Yeah, Nathan, you've missed fucking everything.
Oh, poor guy.
Good God, now I'm scared what he's gonna do with the goddamn prompt. Anonymously, of course. But good God.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to fill him in a minute.
No crying pieces. That's my
Failure is
challenge
the
for
theme
the
of the month. Critical failure.
And you know what's bad? His mermaid story had a critical failure.
It did. It did. So, I think we've got everything. You can expect the newsletter if you have not signed up already. Please do. That way you can get all of this yummy goodness in your inbox and you can double check. You've also got the Discord if you're not already there. I think most of you are. But definitely come hang out. You can find the links on the profile and come join us for another crazy fucking year. Next week is our anniversary show.
3 years.
Yeah.
3 years of
Gonna
doing
try.
this.
to you.
Keeping everything rolling.
I'm gonna try to be there. Hopefully, I'll have the spoons for it.
Nathan, I got words for you.
She has words for us all, please.
Yeah, we should find someone to raid. We got a decent crowd here. We should send them off to someone.
Okay.
Julie's got that
I
down
got
on
raid.
lock. I don't.
Hold on.
Let's spread the love.
Spread the love. Maybe find a new person to
That's how you grow.
interact with. Hell, when we raid, Leon goes and starts talking about everything that we just did and who we are and everything else with these new people. I did.
Well, that's why EJ keeps showing up in our.
EJ's
Yeah, 'cause
on
we
right now.
raided him.
Yeah, that's what I said. EJ's on right now. So hold on one second. Following.
Well, and the other problem is half the time, trying to find somebody that's in English or
Yeah.
Oh, our other person that you guys like is also live. So I think we're gonna.
Jamsey?
Yeah, we're gonna go and rate him now.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
Just real quick before we go out and do the thing before I start the raid. Everybody be safe out there. Don't add to the population. Don't subtract from the population. If you get your ass arrested, do you realize this isn't fucking holiday week? You will sit to Monday, and I'm talking about the following Monday, not the Monday after. So be smart. If you think you're buzzed, call a friend. You can't call a friend, call a fucking Uber. And a lot of places, they're giving free rides and everything like that because of the holidays. So please be smart out there. We want you back for this next season because we love you guys. We wouldn't be able to do this without y'all. He's already gave you the spiel about where to find us and everything like that into the coming year. But otherwise, be brave, be bold, but always stay humble. And we will see you again next year. Same bat time, same bat channel.
And don't talk to cops.
If you do talk to cops, don't breathe on them if you had any alcohol.
Don't talk to cops. They're not your friend. Don't talk to them.
What about Todd?
All right. Here we go, guys. 5, 4, 3, 2.